I'd like a 10-piece crispy chicken nuggets, please, and a Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
Drifting is not just a sport, it's culture, it's in our blood.
Here we go, Andy Haley. Oh, he is riding that tire right on that white line.
Tires are what we live and breathe in Formula D. We couldn't do this without them.
There's a place no map will show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic table? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nailed, every second we shaved, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. Look like fun? It is. You in?
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you?
I'd like a 10-piece crispy chicken nuggets, please, and a Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
Love that car, baby. Welcome to New Jersey. This is the Gauntlet. The Crazy Eight is about to go down. Ryan Turk, he wants this. Right out of the gate, looking at pulling that front left wheel up. Frederick Osbo bathing in the smoke.
Everything felt awesome.
Forsberg initiates transit. Oh, Robbins goes hard into him, but Forsberg stays in it. Shanahan and Freddie, they bang doors, they bang back wheel. Whoa, buddy. Amanda Sorensen's doing it on her own. He's gonna try to bang the door of the three-time champion. Forsberg giving chase. A little fire.
For giving it our best, and yeah, delighted to be in the finals.
Finals are here. Send it! Your winner here at E-Town is James Dean. Your points leader gets the win. Well, the build-up has led to this. Three previous rounds, and now here we are, round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, Old Bridge Township Raceway Park. That's a mouthful. We simply call it E-Town. Round 4 is deemed the Gauntlet. It is a medieval weapon of mass destruction. One driver at a time will enter it, but actually 2 will enter. 1 man will leave. As we are going to be your tour guides here today, we have the top 32 now. We have a halftime break and then a 16, and we won't stop till we find out who wins here at the Crazy 8, the E-Town, the first ever purpose-built drift coliseum in North America. I'm Jared Deenda, joining me here in the blue beanie, the teal toque, the Smoker of Meat, the Diesel Destroyer, the Sticker Swaggler, all of it. Yeah, I saw you giving out little baby beanies all over the place, like little Easter eggs all across the land here at E-Town. Jacob Gettins, host of the Outer Zone podcast and technical host here. Jacob, you got to chill for the majority of yesterday outside of seating brackets, but pro spec, some good driving. We saw some calamity outside Zone 3, claiming Colette Davis's vehicle with Nick Jimenez, but overall, some really good driving. This track very unassuming, but what was your take watching it, spectating it, being a fan, and obviously leading in here to today for pro?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest takeaway is that there's such a fine margin between being absolutely perfect here and your car leaving the track on the back of a tow truck. That's really what it comes down to, is that if you do this track right, it's incredible. It's so fluid, it's dynamic, it leads to amazing tandems. But 1 inch over that line, 1 toe over the line, that's it. That could be your whole weekend. So it's a risk it for the win, but it might be coming back in pieces.
Might be paying off, right? Well,
yeah.
We saw some insane weather. We'll get to that in a little bit. That was going down Thursday. This is a long weekend, given that, how we doing, fans? Children of fans of all ages, cruising the pits in the paddock. Very different. We'll get to that, like I said. Thursday, crazy storm. We used the heck out of that thing right now, that hurricane. It might be called the hurricane, but the hurricane literally happened and ripped apart some easy ups overall. But 4th stop of 8 of the Pro Championship yesterday was round 2 of 4 of the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship, but this is how the schedule plays out. Next stop for us, we go to the gateway to the west, St. Louis, Missouri, just across the Mississippi River. Technically, we are just there in, again, Illinois, but let's just call it what it is. Seattle, Washington, Grantsville, Utah, and then we round it back not too far from where this goes down. We got the Shoreline Showdown. This is round 1, and it was all Frederick Osbo in that Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Then we advanced on to Atlanta, the birthplace of Formula Drift, since 2004, so we were back for a 22nd time, and it was James Dean, the defending and only 4-time Formula Drift champion, that came out on top under the lights with the wet conditions. The Irish and obviously the Scandinavian driver, the Norwegian driver, drove really well in the rain. And then we jump over to Orlando. Most recently, we get the first ever, or the youngest ever, to get a Formula Drift podium, and that is Hiro Manoa. And Jonathan Castro got his first ever. So a lot of firsts in Orlando. Jacob, Hiro Manoa, a lot of eyeballs on him. Talk about progression from last year to even this year. In that short amount of time, he's making a lot of noise.
Yeah, biggest thing is his ability to be able to change the way that he drives. He kind of came into the sport, drove really well, had a very particular style, and was able to do well with that style. And then this year, what we've seen is him be able to adapt no matter who he's against. And, it shows in 3rd place overall right now. That is absolutely crazy for someone in their 2nd season. So, just
it's
wild.
impressive. I mean,
it's wild.
He drives all across the world. FD Japan. He's doing other sanctioned bodies. They're like, the mom drifts, the dad drifts. I love that. The Manoas. There's the Shanahans. There's the Sorensens. There's families, generations now that are drifting. It's really cool. Jonathan Castro, like I said, his first ever FD podium, almost gets the overall win. 2nd place, Odi Bakshis. Talking about the Sorensens, there he is sitting in 6th. Matt Field, a lot of eyeballs on him as far as always the caliber of a champion, just has not delivered all the way. Ryan Turk sits back there quietly in 11th, but the point structure system, every win here in the seeding, or excuse me, not the seeding brackets, but the actual championship is 10 points. You can see Ken Gucci, one of the OGs since day one, D-Mad, Simon Olsen, Ben Hobson, and going for that Rookie of the Year, TLO, Tommy Lemaire, as well as O'Sullivan, and even Jack Shanahan. Shanahan joining the conversation here. No rookie to drifting at all, but a rookie to Formula Drift U.S. competition. Got our fans out. If you got an umbrella, be respectful of your neighbors, all our drift family. If it's in the way, just be kind and rewind those umbrellas. Anything else you want to add, bud? I mean, a lot of excitement. I know you're cruising the pits and got autograph session yesterday. The weather, obviously, if you're under a rock. But speaking of that weather, it was pretty tumultuous for one of the drivers, including that man right there, Jeff Jones. So if you lived under a rock, or in this case lived under a tree, this is what happened on Thursday. Jeff Jones' car was parked and placed ready to go into practice, and a crazy, I'm talking minutes, act of God comes in and blows over. It was insane overall, but all hands on deck, because not only did Jeff Jones' team jump to help out Jeff Jones, but literally FD staff, Kevin Wells, we're talking championship teams and championship drivers like James Dean, the RTR camp, Andy Haitley and his crew, a lot of different teams jumped to help. So the race hammer was out, the welders were out, get the car back up and running, and he is good to go. Talk about big drift energy. He's got that. So throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who is with a tenacious gentleman in Jeff Jones. Lorette, down to you.
A tenacious for sure. And before we get into the interview with this gentleman, a birthday shout out, Cassidy Tanaka, happy birthday. And of course, Bree Lane, very happy birthday to you both. Jeff Jones, the story has been this weekend all about you. Thankfully, you and the team are okay. Talk to us about the experience with that tree falling through the car.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it's not just all about me. Of course, I'm so glad that everyone was safe. Because as the craziness was unfolding with the car, we were back here trying to save our canopy. RTR's canopy was going wild. I literally saw like Vendor Village rolling around Odie's canopy. Like, it's insane what was happening here. And my wife's yelling at me, Jeff, go get the car. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's just going to get wet. Like, let's make sure everyone's safe over here. After it calmed down, yeah, I think just the spotters were calling all the other drivers and telling people there's a tree landed on Jeff's car. So people were yelling at me. So I started running over there. I get over there, and I think you guys have seen the footage. Like, it was insane. So here's the bar that used to be the roof bar. And like, you know, it takes a good amount to crash these, right? To crush this and what it is. And oh my God, when I get over there, I was devastated. I didn't know what to think. We were inches away from the bar crushing things of the engine, the radiator support back there. Had it crushed the main hoop, there would have been no fixing it overnight. Had it crushed more of the A-pillar bars, it probably wouldn't have passed tech and there would have been no fixing it overnight. So as bad as the luck is, we were able to repair it. You know, I always try to look at the bright side of things. And I can't say thank you enough to the drift community. RTR, my team, anyone and everyone literally ran over here to help me in any way that they could. You know, people across the country and the globe. I think almost every driver here offered me their car to drive. And man, the drift community is the story to me. And thank you guys so much, like every single one of you. It's a great feeling to have that kind of thing on your back of, you know, people that want to help you. So I'm never thinking that a car is at a loss, you know. It's just that's just parts, and we'll fix that. But I'm happy that I wasn't in the car. I'm happy Osbo was safe because you saw his video behind me, and Adam LZ was in front of me, and crazy things are happening. So we all made it out fine. Cars are repairable, and this community is freaking awesome. So we're ready to kick some butt today.
Jeff, thank you so much. Best of luck today. Jared.
Well said, and I can't stress that enough. The camaraderie and just the companionship was absolutely beautiful and outpouring. What a great attitude. Jeff Jones is just grown and evolved into not only being a dynamic driver, just a great human, and he always has been, but just the evolution of life. And we end up talking more about life than we do even drifting. Yeah. We're up here in the box and all that. But congratulations to Jeff. Car doesn't even look like, you know, it gets dirty at all. So congratulations.
Looks brand new.
Right? It's crazy. So again, well, it comes down to battles. This is our top 32. This is how it's shaped up from seeding brackets yesterday that we had to push due to that weather. It was supposed to happen Thursday evening, pushed it to yesterday morning before our pro spec, and now here is where it lands. Hiro Manoa is currently one because due to the draw, so he goes against Jonathan Hurst. Any battles stand out to you as far as ones to watch? I would say the points leaders, but anything else that you think is going to just be a barn burner? Osbo and Saito?
Yeah, that's going to be nuts. I'm looking bottom right-hand quarter. Brandon Sorensen, Connor O'Sullivan is going to be wild, and then Connor Shanahan, Tommy Lemaire right after that. Lot going down there, especially they could set up potentially, you know, battle from Prospect of last year for those champions. There's a lot. There's so much going on in top 32. I'm really pumped to get into it because I don't think there's a single battle in here where I have an idea which way it's going to go.
Right. Just seeing that Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Z getting cleaned up there. And now is the time to place your bets, the NXT bets. So be sure to, again, if you're watching this, why not make an investment and reap the rewards of placing your bets on your favorite driver, or you think systematically will get the win. Look, $20 bet pays. Look, if you're all right, Ryan Turk versus Derek Madison, you put 20 bucks on D-Mats, boom, you're almost doubling your money. Mm-hmm. You know, even if you say Turk, you're up $7. So roll it. Hobson versus Gucci. Look at these odds. Look at these percentages.
Yeah,
like
this is really interesting. Yeah, and I mean, if you're a big FD fan, you watch practice, you keep track on this. You've got some good info. Got a good info going into this.
Got the Drift Wizards protect themselves. They are obviously Andy Haley fans. The Wizards, see what kind of magical. We got Puerto Rico. Got again the umbrellas. Beautiful weather. Yeah. It was hot. It was humid. It rained. We've seen kind of all the seasons. Let's just count out snow at this point. We've seen everything else, but Overall, just a really good event. Getting prepped, and our battles will begin here in just a little bit. Here we are after this weekend, or after this evening, this day, we will be at our halfway point.
Right.
And we've had a different winner at every round. Round 1, obviously Osbo. 2, Dean. Hero at round 3. Who's it going to be? James Dean won last year. Odie was 2nd. Adam LZ 3rd. Taking a look at practice, anybody stand out to you?
A couple of drivers. I mean, Daigo Saito seems to really get a handle on that car now. He's doing really well. He's figuring out the aggression. Got into a little bit of a mix-up a little bit later on. Derek Madison looked really good for a bit. He got into a bit of a mix-up. So drivers are just finding the edge. I'm looking for anybody who's doing really well, and then Zone 3 kind of riding the lightning all the way through Zone 3. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, outside Zone 3, you could see just what's crazy is how unassuming the track is, and we'll kind of break it up into chunks as far as breaking down the track. But outside zones, inside clip. But what you don't see, and you will see, the attitude of the vehicle when they drop a tire, especially on outside Zone 2, the car's attitude will pop that right wheel up, because it's 12 to 16 inches drop from the asphalt down to the dirt off that cliff. So the car pops up. Outside Zone 3, that dirt, you know, it could grab you, it could rip you, and that wall is not too far off as well. But Shelly Hansen, the hard candy shell, she is sweet, but she is built for this. Car flipped. The wheel went off, the car flipped, it was on its side. So this track, as flat and kind of unassuming it is, it could definitely bite you back. This is our first battle, Hero Manoa, Jonathan Hurst. Jonathan Hurst was talking about, you know, he's ready to get lined up the other day, and his car almost got smashed by a tree here. So the Mr. Cool Cadillac going against the Injuka Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, 86. Hero Manoa, again, making history, the youngest ever to have a Formula Drift victory. He won in Orlando, a lot of momentum coming in. Not only is his, you know, English getting better, his driving's getting better, his attitude, just all of it. Again, this Manoa family, they just live, breathe, eat, travel, drifting.
Yeah.
You know, when they're not here, they're on the sim. They're driving FD Japan. You know, so seat time is hyper critical, and Hero's doing all that.
Yeah, and Hurst, I mean, in practice, he had a run with Matt Field earlier on where he had Matt Field's number in the chase the whole way around. So it gives me a lot of hope, because this is a tough battle. I did chat with Jonathan a little bit earlier on about it, and he's like, I got to run perfect. I got to run aggressive. I got to run my race and hope he can keep up. So he's got some confidence going into this, which is great.
Which I think is good, you know, for him, Jonathan Hurst. If you got that mindset, you're going against the most recent winner. He's going to say, all right, Hero's going to throw it out there as looks like got a restart. What happened there? I don't see flashing lights.
Hurst has got his hand out the window there.
I do not see lights. So it looked like Hero went to go initiate and shut it down. So look at this. Here's our most recent winner. He is, you're treating it as a restart?
Oh, okay.
Holy cow. So sorry, there was some communication here. We'll find out what happened here. I believe they're treating it as a restart.
Yeah, it looks like that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run this back again. So there's
okay. So there was an issue. We're hearing that there might have been an official that was just right out of the corner of their eye.
Yeah, someone out of place. So one of those drivers kind of
shut it down.
Shut it down just for the safety of the person who was out of place. And I mean, right call. And we'll give those drivers a minute to be able to go and take another look. I don't know if they're going to be taking a look at their cars. I'm not sure if there was some contact in order to get people, or when they decided to shut things down, because it was pretty abrupt. So we're just waiting to hear back from a couple of the track staff to understand exactly what's going on, what everybody is up to, and we will go from there either way. Manoa looks like...
Yeah, it looks like he shut down. He might have caught a break, or did Hurst and Manoa have contact even with that?
Yeah, not sure. Really, I mean, strange situation. So we're going to...
Okay, so yeah, we are hearing that just somebody was out of place. Just to clarify, talking to race control up here, Chris, he says that somebody was just out of place just on the periph. So here they are initiating, and it looks like
Yeah, it might have been underneath the bridge is where it was, but it does look like there was a little bit of contact on that initiation. Hurst just in a spot, and Manoa coming over. So both drivers shutting it down.
But now Hero's being towed off. So what happened there?
It did look like there was some contact when Hirsch shut it down, and Manoa was going to go faint over and then realize what was going on. So we'll have to understand exactly what's going to go on. But yeah.
Well, here is now is a great time to get a BC Racing clip tip from one of our judges, Reese Marin.
What's going on, everyone? Coming at you here from Formula Drift 2025 in New Jersey. My name is Reese Marin, one of the judges for this weekend, along with Brian Egger and Vernon. We're standing out here in front of outside zone 1, and the reason I'm doing that is because I really do feel like one of the tips or the tricks to this layout is to set yourself up correctly, initiating and getting into outside zone 1 right. Set yourself up on the right line, make sure you have good rhythm, come out of outside zone 1, and then set yourself up for the transfer into outside zone 2. I feel like if you don't set yourself up correctly into outside zone 1, you're really just going to be playing catch up. So I really feel like the best thing you can do and to have the best foot forward, make sure you have outside zone 1 dialed so the rest of the track can be set up correctly and you can have some good results. This has been a BC Racing clip tip.
Is this it?
We've been holding power you make for 30 years. But here's the real question. How much torque are you making? Because every single ACT clutch is rated by the torque produced at the crank. That's all your clutch cares about. Your power, your performance, your success. Unrivaled precision, power, and durability. Visit advancedclutch.com today. 30 years of precision engineering and performance excellence. Because every revolution starts at the crank.
Check engine light on. There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler. Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you. Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts.
These are my race treads for when the road ends.
These are my race treads for shredding the slopes.
These are my race treads for setting the hook.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
All right, so here's the scenario. As you can see from the start, just there was somebody out of place here. Here's Hero. So look, that woman just there on the left. Why are you there, homegirl?
Yeah, I mean, Hurst did the right thing. Hurst,
yeah,
I mean,
so
he backed off, and then that's going to change so much. So it sounds like we're going to give them time to get this looked at.
Yeah, the big thing is, you know, the contact there between Hurst and Manoa happened. Hurst did the right thing. Homegirl just confidently walked there, but she shouldn't have been there. Right. So, you know, that's, yeah. So, but we're moving on to what was to be our second battle. This is D-Mads, Derek Madison, and Ryan Turk. As you said, Madison was putting down a good run with Daigo Saito. Contact was made. That car got banged up a little bit. Derek always has a good attitude, but I know he wants to get the win. Also, Ryan Turk, you know, would love to, I saw his lovely wife, saw his little one in a push cart. Excited to see what Ryan Turk can do here at what I would gather and venture to say this is his home track. You know,
Yeah.
closest track, obviously, to his hood in New Hampshire. But Derek Madison will lead. Ryan Turk, Kevin Chase, D-Mads, that Coilover Depot S14. He's got that. What is happening right now?
Restart on that one.
Restart on that one. And his fender reached out and touched somebody, aka the cone. Okay, guys. Well, we got a slow drip right now. Let's turn that faucet on, kids.
We're building up. We're building up.
Yep. Let's drink out of the hose, full on. Open that thing up. There we are in the cockpit of Hiro Manoa. Lorette, it's also good seeing you. Glad you're back here. I see you talking to Kevin Wells right now. But what's going on with Hiro?
Well, I'm talking to Kevin Wells on exactly that. Could you explain the situation?
This is kind of an unprecedented situation. From start, you can't obviously see all the way down the tunnel, and an EMT walked down and into the chase lane and just hopped around the fence as he was going by, and apparently that may have had something to do with the situation, so that's our fault. So we're actually going to do free 10s for both drivers so that everybody can get their stuff back together. So that's on a 5 right there. So there's 2 minutes left on that one. I'll start the 5 and then re-hit that one.
And what's the damage on Hiro's car?
I believe he broke an axle, is what I heard.
Oh, boy.
So I think they're still diagnosing at this point.
Kevin, thanks. Jared?
Thank you so much, Lorette. Yeah, and there you go, Kevin. So elaborating on it further, you know, we obviously saw that. We saw the video there. And you can see Hiro's team working on the car. So bringing it back up.
This event just continues to surprise us at every
turn. Yeah.
Every turn.
E-Town, you know, like I said, track, unassuming, flat, couple turns, nope, craziness, cars flipping, you know, pets' heads are falling off. So looks like D-Mads again hit that cone. That was a restart. And what's going on here? Competition timeout?
I think Derek is taking 5. Sounds like, I mean, we're putting parts back in the car, so that is my thought. I mean, I don't know if he hit the world's heaviest cone.
So Derek Madison looks like he is calling a comp timeout. All right, Derek Madison is calling competition timeout. That will be a 5-minute allotment, 1 and done. It's the only one you get, so Ryan Turk will back off the line. So even the second battle we will revisit. And Hiro still working on his car, or the team working on it. So crazy, right out of the gate. New Jersey delivering on all fronts. Let's get these guys going, but just that just goes to show you how wound up the cars. And we can see them axle, or is it confirmed? Is it an axle, Lorette?
Well, I couldn't get in and ask the mechanics that are working on the car because things are very busy right now for them. Nate Chen is down here, teammate to Hiro, and the clock is running, but 5 more minutes was added to Hiro's time. Do you know what the damage is?
I think they're trying to fix the axle right now, and because Hurst hit Hiro, that's why they're having to get the axle in as quickly as possible, but I think they're excited to go out and battle.
Thank you, Nate, very much. And you did hear the clock run out behind me. Kevin is setting it for 4 minutes. He has the clock running on his phone right now. So are they getting 10 minutes or are they getting 15? What are they?
Well, 10 from us, and then they can call their 5 if they want it. And then we're going back to rerun that run and the other one. So basically fresh start.
In what lineup? Who's leading and who's chasing?
He would be leading again first. We're going back to run one.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Here we go back to the action, or let's kick off the action as RCP Rome Sharpens here and Dimitri Brutsky in that BMW who got third, he got third on the podium into that second outside zone. There goes RCP. Nice job by him coming into the second, now coming into the third. Dimitri Brutsky, that safetyrestored.com BMW bringing it across the finish line. There goes RCP Garagistic BMW and Dimitri Brutsky.
Yeah, and so now we're into running, so we're into the action.
We're off and
here we go. Rome Charpentier doing a great job right off the bat. Fills outside zone 1. Dimitri Brutsky trying to just get into the correct spot. We know he knows this track. He's done well here previously, did well here last night. But Rome setting up just a solid lead. And you could see even from the previous drone shot during the live run, Rome's putting barely any input into the car. That is incredibly smooth, runs all the zones. I mean, just a solid lead run from Rome. Maybe the best one I've seen him put down all weekend, to be perfectly honest. And Brudski had every opportunity in the world to completely door Rome throughout the entire thing. He got close in a lot of spots, did a good job, but was not perfect. So Rome still got some opportunity there as well, and Dimitri's got to lay down an absolutely epic lead run here to be able to take Rome out.
Yeah, he said on the podium, he said he was kind of easy yesterday in pro, a little too aggressive maybe in pro spec, so find, Goldilocks in the three driving styles, right? This one's too soft, this one's too hard. This one is just right as he settles on in comfort into that outside zone 2. Here goes RCP. Rome sharpens here, past that inside clip. Good execution by both the drivers. Now in that last outside zone. Getting freshly striped, looks good, man. This looks pristine, great track, sun's out, guns out, and we got a good run there from both the guys there on that second run.
Yeah, solid run there. I mean, Dimitri knows how to do this. He's got his son as a spotter. I think the youngest spotter we've ever seen, which is super cool. We talked about the family affair, and everybody's all invested. And Dimitri fills all of outside zone 1. Now Rome got to get into this battle and really get to the side. And there's Dimitri with a little bit of wavering, but really filling that zone, adding a bit more angle as he comes through. Rome getting into the pocket and then just getting absolutely bathed in smoke through this transition. Rome gets that dive in, and Dimitri still solid run through outside zone 3. Very, very similar from both drivers. Not making it easy on the judges as we kick things off in top 32. Both these drivers very consistent. Dimitri's got an immense amount of time on this track, and Rome, driving all the time, building all the time, just a very, very active competitor here in the sport. So, yeah, really tough there. I would give a slight edge to Rome's lead, but I would give a slight edge to Dimitri's chase. So, pretty tight there as we take a look back at the Jiryang Racing pits.
Hero's issue looks a little more deeper than we initially anticipated, or maybe even they initially anticipated.
Yeah.
Talking about Axel, but now you get to see all hands on deck. And all right, well, let's take a look at our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side.
Yeah, so I would, in this case, what I'm looking at is the chase. So assuming both drivers have a solid lead run, Dimitri does a really good job in the first outside zone, but then Rome gets into the pocket a little bit sooner and gets better line, slightly better proximity, but both of them wavering a little bit in the angle. Inside clips look pretty similar. And then through our last outside zone, it's really tough. Really, really tough.
Splitting hairs. They where one shine, the other didn't, and, kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm super tough, but it just shows too that in top 32, you have no idea. These are the types of battles you expect, and we've kind of been conditioned to see later on in competition, but not anymore. This is every battle now.
3 judges in this year in our 2025 season. They alternate. Well, one of them alternates, but Brian Eggert and Reese Marin stay the entirety of the season and join us for this round and half of the round, so 4 rounds of the 8. Vernon Zvanveld is joining us here for round 4. Robin Ishida chilling, posting up, and doing his thing. So we will continue on and find out what the verdict is here, as this was to be our 3rd battle, but first one, again, got some contact, taking a look at the car. Second one, D-Mads, hit a cone as a restart, but called comp timeout.
Yeah,
wonder what's going on there with,
He chimed in and just said due to all the loose body panels. So we do have, we can go back and revisit some history if we want about loose body panels here in New Jersey, but either way, wants to make sure those are all locked in.
All right, slide them left or right or one more time, and there it is. So it looks like, all right. Yep. So it looked like it was majority rules there and a one more time, so it's a one more time. So we still don't have anybody moving on into the 16, and look at this. We are doing a deep dive here on Hero's car, and look at this. Out of the gate, winner in Orlando, goes initiate, contact made. Did not anticipate that contact being that hard of a hit and disrupting that much of the equipment of Hiro Manoa. Hero's just, he's got to keep a cool, calm head. But, here we are, taking a look. And now into the burnout box, we are seeing our next battle.
Yeah, so Nick Novak, James Dean. Nick was up here a little bit earlier on, had a good chat with him. He's feeling confident in it. We talked a lot about setup in the car and everything else. He said basically at this point, it's everybody should have their setup dialed in. It's just a matter of putting down laps and going at it. So, yeah, this will be a good one.
Okay, so James Dean, Nick Novak talking about where he's at. James will lead. And Nick Novak chasing him down. Will we get a winner? Moving on to 16, right? Here we are, our fourth battle. It's ended at our 32. Here goes James Dean initiate in that AutoZone Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5FD. Novak transitioning nicely against the champ into that second outside zone. Novak just trying to shove him around. Is that too much? Gonna need to see that overhead view, get some real dynamic angles here, looking more like a video game here, and we're just gonna need the assist on the different angles. But I'll tell you what, Nick Novak knew who he was going against. He needed to apply the pressure and knows that no funny business, straightforward, gonna get wild, gonna get aggressive, and Nick Novak looked like he had an opportunity there to really push hard. This overhead is gonna be really telling.
Yeah, James Dean, which is a wild initiation, so really lights it off and then gets this car floated out like really smooth, but the amount of angle he's got going into it looks great, and Nick just not able to compete at that point. And then Nick does get into the side of James Dean, it looks like, and then has to fall back. It was almost, I don't know if it was a front wheel on front wheel, but James Dean going a little bit wide on that inside clip, and that's the only major error we see from James running through that whole thing. Nick Novak just really pushing, knowing how hard you have to drive. Yeah, that was strange. I think he might have made contact, and then the car just fell back. So it looks like we're going to keep running them. I mean, either driver bowing out to look at the cars, just keep driving.
To take a one more time or competition, to take a competition timeout this early on, I don't know if that's the wisest move, but it might be what takes you out, because Novak being aggressive, he had to back off, ended up hurting him more than it did helping him being that aggressive. Novak now coming to the second outside zone. He's going to try to put down a blazing run. James Dean tucks it nicely, knows his track. Like I said, winner last year. Can he go back-to-back here in New Jersey, past that inside clip? Gives him enough room to go ahead and get that initiation. Look at Novak digging deep. Look at the angle. Yeah. Just absolutely locked in on that last outside zone, going across the finish line. And again, not only defending, but the first ever four-time champ of James the Machine Dean. Put some respect on it, kids.
Yeah, Nick Novak really trying to win the rest of this battle in the lead by adding that extra angle. You nailed it. Struggled a little bit with the first outside zone on initiation, has the tires lit off, gets back on throttle. The car just a little hooked up, pushes him out of the zone a bit early. James Dean does a good job to adapt, and then they come through too. Look at Nick, more angle, more angle, more angle, all the way through the zone. So sick, love to see it. Because this is the thing, there's more than one way to win these battles. You've got line, you've got angle, you've got style. Nick going for it with the angle and the style. He's got most of the line dialed in, but he did have that major issue in the chase previous, whereas James able to match the pace almost all the way through, and Nick, just comes out of that first outside zone just a touch early. But when you're going up against, four-time champ James Dean, you can't have any errors like that. You've got to be on your game, you've got to be perfect, and more or less hope that James makes an error. Now, James did have an error in the lead, missing inside clip, so do those two things, how do those two things weigh in?
Counteract.
Yeah, so great run from both drivers, but yeah, we'll see how the judges
Here we go, slide him left for Dean, right for Novak. James Dean gets 1 vote, 2 votes, and unanimously, James Dean gets the victory over Nick Novak. Hey, Reese, I'm going to bring you in here. I think it was pretty straightforward for the most part. Novak got aggressive in that second outside zone, drops it out, but let's bring you in. Good to see you back here in Jersey, you, Brian, and Vernon, for those who are just turning into pro.
Yeah, it was. We could see that Novak, specifically when he was in the chase, you could see that he kind of cut shallow going into outside zone 1. Going into outside zone 2, you could see there's some adjustments. Something happened in outside zone 2 about halfway through where you can see he kind of stepped back a little bit, gave him too much space. We did see the error that James did, missing the inner clip, but when you put everything together, Novak just had a little bit more on the table there, and James ended up getting the win back.
Awesome, thank you. Good seeing you, Reese.
Good seeing you too.
Where's my Colombian treats?
I got you tomorrow, dude. That's between us.
Okay. Well, I'm going golf with Jeff Stoneback, so you got to bring him to the course. Okay?
I'll give it to him.
Okay, sounds good. All right, here we go. Taking a look. Now it is going back. D-Mads, Derek Madison, Ryan Turk. So Mads called that comp timeout. Body parts all across, strewn about. Ryan Turk you know, that could hurt D-Mads if we have to call an actual competition timeout for not just body parts, but actual runability. And there goes D-Mads in that first outside zone. Ryan Turk lets him go and transition and run. And that second outside zone, Ryan Turk goes into the dirt with that hot hatchback. And Derek Madison is off and running. There goes D-Mads past an inside clip. Ryan Turk in that last outside zone brings it on in. Turk coming up shallow on that last outside zone. Here is Turk not putting the car exactly where it needs to be. Gets involved with that dirt on that second outside zone.
Yeah, D-Mads, I mean, it kind of took 2 steps to get the initiation done, but he does. He fills outside zone 1 really, really well, and then gets lit off. But
only one tire.
Yeah, but I mean, Turk just not able to kind of match what was going on there. Very uncharacteristic of Ryan Turk, and then the rest of the run, it just seems like he's trying to figure out the pacing of the car and get settled, and just wasn't able to get into the flow for that entire run. And we're going to be swapping him around. I think the line workers right now taking a look at Derek Madison's front bumper, seeing if that can just come off at this point, or if it's stable, but it looks like they're going to keep that running. Swap him around. Turk's going to take the lead as we take a look back here at Manoa's car, and everybody underneath of it taking a look to understand exactly what kind of damage is done. So yeah, so we are getting word that competition director Kevin Wells has decided, because this is not a fault of the drivers, they're going to give Manoa enough time to get this repair done. They've had conversations with everybody. That seems to be the consensus now is, hey, this is a really strange situation. It's unprecedented. We're going to make sure you can get out and battle. So for the best of the show.
For the best of the show. So Ryan Turk, D-Mads, yeah, would love to see them again.
Yeah.
Fix their vehicle. Jonathan Hurst, you know, we're focusing on Hero, just given, you know, where he's at, but Jonathan Hurst deserves time as well, that front left. But right now, Ryan Turk, Derek Madison on the line here in 32. Ryan Turk, a veteran. D-Mads just, you know, creating just a more and more stacked career coming into the Pro Championship, seeing him develop as a driver. Got a little bit of dirt there. Just that one back right dropping of Ryan Turk in that second outside zone. We've used the Hurricane here, that big spool, quite a bit here this weekend.
And remember too, I mean, Derek Madison has taken out Ryan Turk before. Is one of the drivers he has beaten. So I'm not saying that's going to get into Turk's head at all, but I mean, it's something's going on. Plays a role. So yeah.
Plays a role for sure. And you know, Ryan Turk, we know how talented of a driver he is. He's had, you know, a little bit of bad luck here or there. We know what he's capable of. And drops that tire. Madison was just steady.
Yeah.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know if Madison's was necessarily, you know, the fastest run of all of it, but either way, the chase driver still needs to be able to match what's going on. And Derek Madison just, yeah, steady Eddie all the way through. So it's, yeah, it's a good run from Derek, and Turk's really going to have to turn things up to get the win in this battle.
And here we go. Turk will be leaving the line in the lead position. Here he comes with that Toyota GR Corolla, the hot hatchback, the Rain-X vehicle. Comes to that first outside zone. Now transitioning into the second. Good attitude, got the clean air. Derek Madison dips back in there. He is in that second outside zone, long outside zone. Now coming past that inside clip. There goes Derek Madison now transitioning into that last outside zone. Good placement by Ryan Turk. Hits all the necessary clips, and Derek Madison brings it on home.
Yeah, I mean, Turk did exactly what he needed to do there, which is lay down an absolutely solid lead run. And Derek, I mean, he struggled as well in the chase, so we'll have to flip back here as we take a look at our airforce.com replay. So Turk, good job through outside zone 1. Tons of angle getting into 2, and lots of speed through there. Using the angle to scrub, but lighting off the tires at the right time. Derek Madison, a little bit shallower through that section. Turk nailing that inside clip, doing exactly what the judges were looking for. And then Ryan, just tons and tons of wheel speed, tons of smoke coming through there. And Derek did fall back a little bit. So we'll see how this all ends up playing out, because both drivers having some mistakes in the chase. It's really going to come down to who had more in either of their chase runs, because both drivers on the lead did a really good job. And we'll see what the judges think of it. Derek, I mean, in the chase, kind of missing all of outside zone 3.
Awaiting the outcome here. Derek Madison, Ryan Turk, and Ryan Turk, you know, we know what he's capable of. one of the most popular drivers out here, the Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla, Rockstar engineering pilot Derek Madison. Sophomore season here in the Pro Championship, a new build. Derek Madison, Ryan Turk, and slide him left for D. Madsen, right for Ryan Turk, and Derek Madison takes out Ryan Turk, or I would say that unfortunately Ryan Turk with that mistake there on outside zone 2. I could see Reese putting on his headset. You know, here's a veteran. Ryan Turk making just a simple mistake, dipping that right tire. I think that obviously would I have to assume that was the big one.
Yeah, you can see that he dipped a tire in going into outside zone 2. I think there was maybe a miscalculation. We do see that Madison did have some errors in the chase as well too. I also give the head tip over to Turk because he was able to get to inner clip really good as well too. But the errors that we had in the chase, and we can see here in the side-by-side, we're going to come in. Pay attention to Turk in the chase. Turk comes in. Here comes the transition going into outside zone 2. Maybe there was a miscalculation. He didn't really set up the car right, drops the tire. We do see some errors from Derek in the chase. Obviously, they're doing really good in the lead. You can see Derek does a really good job getting into inner clip 1. But when we take everything into consideration, there was just more errors in the chase there by Derek that were more substantial. And yeah, that's it right there. Madison's going to take the win.
Very unfortunate for Ryan Turk, just kind of on a string of bad luck, but keep his head high. He's obviously a very talented driver. It just does happen, man. And you know, there can be only one overall winner here, and it just takes getting 32, 16, 8, 4, and eventually the win. So Derek Madison takes out Ryan Turk here in 32.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean that's
a big one. That's a big victory for Madison.
It's huge
and
momentum.
And unfortunate, obviously, for Ryan Turk. Let's go back to, let's go back. This is a one more time battle between RCP, Rome Charpentier, and Dmitry Brutsky. Yep, so our entirety battle, it was a 2-1 of RCP and Brutsky. Two of the judges said one more time. One of the judges said, I believe it was Dmitry. And here we go, RCP initiating in front of Brutsky. Good line as they enter that first outside zone. Brutsky timed that perfectly in the chase position. Little comes out of it unwound, but then has that good proximity. Tuck back a little bit, mimic the angle there, Brutsky, but great placement of the car. Now comes that last outside zone. RCP, big attitude. You saw him just throw it in there, very confident with the position of that car of Rome Charpentier out front, and Brutsky knew he was leading him in there. Good job at both.
Yeah, I really like how Brutsky sets things up in the chase here. It's a really aggressive approach, so he has to float this car in, and I don't think I've seen anybody else pull that off here today. I mean, really over this weekend, and it sets him up so well in the chase for the first outside zone, and then through the second outside zone, Brutsky's doing a great job there, and a lot of that is Rome having a very fluid, very smooth run, and Rome's really getting a handle on this car. He seems so much more comfortable in it than I've really ever seen him, and Dmitry trying to find new ways to win in the chase with that lineup, pulling back a little bit, really floating the car, having a ton of patience. It's such a tough spot to really get into somebody's door through that first outside zone because it's right after an initiation. So, tough time.
Yeah, you really got to just, and Dmitry knows this track really, really well. So let's take a look. Here it is, Dmitry Brutsky out front of that first outside zone. Now transitioning. Dmitry was kind of a slow transition there, it seemed like, but that allowed Rome to get right in the pocket. So that's what I was talking about, mimicking that angle. Looks like he's just very parallel. The twin BMWs here going past that inside clip. Dmitry, he digs deep, maxes out the angle. Again, Rome, that's what you can expect. You know, very similar builds, and they know each other's driving style. So that was a good battle. That was really good. Again, I feel like they learned and progressed off of that first battle.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's taking notes, and this is where spotters come into play so much. So Rome maybe not as close to that first outside zone, but then look at this. It's so cool to see the way that he's able to get the car to get that proximity, then slide back in. It's not just proximity that you need. You still need line, you still need angle in order to mirror, and Jared nailed that. Like, that's exactly what Rome did there all the way through that second outside zone. Gets into the spot he needs to be, sets the car up perfectly, matches everything else, and both drivers stepping their game up in every way on every run. So we get a big wave to the crowd there from Rome as he goes and chats with Dmitry on that run, who's probably got his phone up immediately, taking a look back at those battles. Drivers doing that a lot right now. They want to know immediately. So take a look here. Beasing Racing custom coilover side by side. And let's see if we can spot any differences in these two photos, because I mean, Dimitri really does a great job through that first outside zone in the chase. Both their leads are incredible, but Rome gets into the pocket maybe a little bit sooner and has a great line through there, but Dimitri has a bit more proximity inside clip. I would give that the nod to Rome and the lead on that one. Third outside zone, though, pretty similar, but just in two different ways. Like they're both hitting two parts of the triangle. You know, the proximity, the line, and the angle. They're matching those. It's tough. To get all three is incredibly difficult, so a lot of drivers will just aim for two. Dimitri a little bit closer on proximity, but Rome, I would say, had a bit better line in the chase.
Okay, so taking a look at this. Outside of the car, slide him left for Rome, right for Brudski, and it looks like RCP gets the victory unanimously. RCP gets the win, taking out Dimitri Brudski. Third place, little head shake there, and
Yeah.
RCP gets the win. So, you know, Brudski should hold his head high. That was a really good battle there. And again, the judges, you know, the tracks expose the threshold of one more time for the judges because they're good battles.
Yeah.
You know, we're really splitting hairs here. So some great insight for you guys. As Rome moves on, let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel. Lorette?
Yeah, we're right here. D-Mads and I were just looking at the bracket. You're going, well, we'll look at that. But you got out of the car and said that was so stressful. Take us through it.
Yeah, so last lap of practice, we had a run with Daigo Saito, and right into outer zone 3, I was going a little too fast. I thought I was going to go off, and I believe we made contact. Sent it off course, and those ruts are no joke, man. So it broke both axles, bent a couple things, but we were able to bring it back. The boys got us done as soon as practice was over, and we were running right in the comp. So great job to those boys. Shout out to Alan Boss's boys at Fabmac, and Colin Zielinski brought us some parts because we were out of spares. So Cinderella story. It was stressful. We got out there, and the side skirt fell off, and then the fender hit the cone, which caused a restart. So I had to call a 5 to fix the fender, but we're here.
And you're moving on to top 16. We'll see you soon. Jared?
Yeah, you could just feel it. He knows how big that is, you know, taking out a vet like Ryan Turk, and that's it. You know, you saw the head shake from Dimitri. You know, you don't want to go out this early, but right now it's Matt Field. Look at that. That car, he got battered and bruised there in practice. That's what you got to bring. Ryan Literal brings it in with the Go Sunoco S chassis, but look at Matt Field riding that course edge in his Borla Performance Heat Wave Lean Customs Corvette. Now transitioning in. I know Scarps likes it, going that last outside zone and bringing it on in is Matt Field in the lead position. Ryan Literal chasing him down, rips past him, gets right back up to start.
Yeah, Matt Field just so quick throughout this run. Got the car wicked right up, and it looks like in that first outside zone, Literal just not able to kind of keep up with the speed through that. Now gets things a little bit more dialed to the second outside zone, falls into pack with him, gets really aligned up, maybe not the proximity, but the line and angle was there. Then we get into the third, and Matt Field just lights off. That Corvette is so quick. He's able to get the car dug in and just shoot the whole thing across. And then on the other end of it with Ryan Literal, it's tough. I mean, that is a very stylish car. He drives it very stylish, loves to have a bunch of angle on it, and just not able to really get the speed he needs to keep up with Matt Field. So.
And here we are back in the action. Ryan Literal out front. That Sunoco S chassis. Matt Field intel goes that first outside zone. Looks like Matt got hung up just a little bit. Ryan massaged it in. Good placement of that vehicle out front. That does allow Matt Field to get close proximity. Almost loses and goes back out into the dirt. Gets a little bit of chunky here. I feel like it's glitching and downloading a little bit, kind of buffering as far as the downloaded file, right? I mean, it felt like the initiation it got smooth on outside zone 2, but that transition going into 3, it just felt glitchy. It was like 8-bit a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, some of this, I think, with Ryan Literal's car, the way he's got it set up, it allows him to do some really unique things with the car, but when you get into a few of these bumps, it can be kind of hard to handle, and that's what I saw. You can see there, just he comes across and bounces. Looks like he adds a bunch more wheel speed and almost slows the car down, and then Matt Field just has a bit of a tougher time to be able to get back out and around. So it's definitely a wonky one. So yeah, it was just a really strange run there from Ryan Little. Just I think some of the setup, but I do like the way that he's able to get those zones filled out. It looks good on that end. Ryan's just such a stylish driver, and that can work really well in some cases. And when you start setting the car up that way, it can make other parts of the track a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and again, everybody's talented. That's why they're here. But just finding, I was talking to Casey Cole. He's talking about just kind of some of the hiccups he's had, some downfalls here and there, and just when it comes together, it's great. But sometimes you just have those little nuances, those little things, setup, gearing, all that, and then obviously rod knock, you don't want that. But Matt Field looks like he puts it together, takes out Ryan Littoral. A good effort there. But Matt, I would just say a little bit smoother there. Ryan Littoral, we know he's an aggressive driver. He likes to leave it all out on track. And it looks like he did just that, but Matt Field advances on to 16. Yeah, you. Do you have a question, sir? You in the 08. Yep. Okay, you got 2 questions. That's why you got both hands up. All right, what's your question, sir? No, you're shaking your head? Tatted lifeguard right here. Hang loose, brother. That's right. Red, white, and blue. Thanks for joining us out here, New Jersey, round 4 of the Formula 1 Pro Championship. A little bit of a slow trickle out of the gate, but then it progressed further. Now we're getting there.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking with fire.
Yeah. No, we're definitely getting at it, and the driving is just wild, man. I mean, this track really lends itself to a lot of one more times because of how. I mean, there's not a ton going on, but there's so much going on. Only a couple of zones, but because of the track changes, because of those bumps and the surface changes, it's very difficult to set a car up for.
Yeah, we hardly talk about that. It's not even a transition. It's just middle of the second outside zone, that surface change going from the black asphalt to the concrete. These were drag strips, so they're channeled going the opposite direction of the flow. So there is a bump at the center of outside zone 2. You can actually see the attitude of the vehicle kind of get disrupted, and some of, like, it hits harmonics of suspension. It'll start bouncing and bucking and almost throwing. And we saw it yesterday. We did throw a car off because the attitude of the car, I think it was Ryan Littoral even, that threw the car off. They get in the dirt, throw the car up, 3-wheel motion, boom, said and done. Moving on to our next battle, Ken Gucci, the OG versus Ben Hobson. Ben Hobson, sophomore season behind the wheel of his Ford Mustang. The pink accents on that Pennzoil livery, always signature move from Ben Hobson. Now into that second outside zone, the big long one. Hobson shuts her down, and Hobson stranded out there, not sailing right now, as Ken Gucci will continue on through the paces, and this will be a major advantage for Ken Gucci if he keeps it sideways, and he does. What went wrong for Ben Hobson? The demons and the gremlins are alive and well here in New Jersey. From all the crazy and zaniness of New Jersey, a straightforward track and raceway park has, man,
yeah.
we need to call somebody and apologize. I feel like this is a Happy Madison or something, or
yeah, you're gonna burn some sage or something going on. It's definitely a strange event. No idea what happened there with Ben. Yeah, it's just been a rough go. I mean, we might get some word as to what ends up happening here shortly. Drivers and their teams are able to contact us now, and it adds a lot of info. But we are hearing from race control, Ben is going to call a 5. So there is some sort of mechanical something going on with the car. Pretty early to tell. Maybe once we get to the replay, we'll be able to see. But looks like we're going to get somebody's happy today.
So, yeah, we have people that are moving on, 4 drivers, and one of which is RCP with the red nickel now.
Yay. So RCP is going to see battle against James Dean, and this is a repeat of last year, what happened in the top 16. But I was wondering, how hot is your engine running right now?
So this one is running pretty hot. We've figured out ways of getting it colder, but still hot as maybe 227 after 2 laps. I know I stuck my head into Brewski's just to check out his, because he's running the same engine platform. I think he was around 256, 260. So it's extremely hot. Inside cabin air temp, just inside the car, is about 165 right now. So it's quite hot. We're trying to get intake air temps down. We're trying to do anything we can to keep the cars as cold as possible. Because once they get hot, they start pulling power.
Is the cool suit even working at this point?
The cool suit inside does. Every time we have a battle, they just keep packing ice in it. So it does help keep me cool, but everything else around it is super hot.
Well, Rome, thank you so much for the insight, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you so much, Rome. Yeah, good luck. Stay cool. And, you know, like I said, it's not as hot as it began to be Thursday. It cooled down, but the sun is intense, and just on the equipment, you're in the cockpit, you're there. So overall, it definitely can wear on you. So look at that. So the officials did deem and say, hey, you have ample time to fix your vehicle. With the beginning of this battle, if you're just joining us, Jonathan Hurst right there in the Mr. Cool Cadillac against Hiro Manoa and Juku Racing, Jerry Yang racing the white and red vehicle there. They were our first battle. Unfortunately, an official was right there next to Jonathan Hurst. Nobody got hurt, but was on track when they shouldn't have been. So Formula Drift is taking fault of that and says, look, because then they had contact, so they said, go ahead, work on your vehicle, fix it. You have ample time. Go back to the action. So our first battle is now here. Here we are. Taking a look at Hiro Manoa making history in Orlando. This is him and Jonathan Castro. Castro going for his first ever FD podium, and Hiro Manoa, his second season. He ends it with a blaze. I mean, just the way he drove, progression, driving. Hiro gets gets another podium, but first youngest to win an FD event.
Yeah.
And then Castro gets his first ever FD podium. Very dynamic, very fun, a lot to celebrate there.
Yeah, it's super cool to see a driver, grow up really in front of our eyes like this. 74% win percentage, like that's
2 years. That's a year and a half.
That's nuts. That's absolutely wild. That's up there with some of the best ever. Now, I mean, the longevity is going to be the next part of his career, and let's see how long he can keep it going.
A hero is born, and a hero is 15 years old, and he's on track going against the pride of Paducah, Jonathan Hurst, in that Mr. Cool Cadillac. And talking about Mr. Cool, he dropped the top on that thing, man. Looking like he was slow rolling right there, tipping on some faux foes. Look at this, in that second outside zone, he drops into formation. Look at that. Grinding on the door just a little bit. Now past that inside clip, transition outside zone 3, just lets him transition in front. And now in that last outside zone, looks like Hurst comes up a little bit short. And there it is, brings it on around.
Yeah, so Hurst doing something similar that we saw from Brewski, where taking a bit more of a straight line approach, letting Hiro feint in front of him, and then diving in on initiation. Does a really good job of mirroring that line and that angle, but not able to get the proximity. Now Hurst goes for that proximity, getting really aggressive there in the chase with Manoa. Very stable. We are seeing some left foot braking as he gets around the course, and Hurst, known for his aggressive style, his speed out of that car, and able to kind of get back in the fight closer to the outside zone 3, but really, the first two zones, Hurst did a really good job in that, but Manoa does provide such a phenomenal lead run. Now, as they swap it around, I expect to see Hurst throw everything at the wall to try and basically shake Manoa off of him when they get into this run.
I think all the drivers here in pro competition have great lead runs, but what really defines a champion and a victor is the chasing capabilities. And here goes Hiro Manoa. Great angle from Jonathan Hurst. Look at that. Great placement of the car. Look at Hiro diving in. Love to see him again. Drop back just a little bit. Got that proximity. You can see that little left foot brake, that front left, chalking it up a little bit in that last outside zone. There goes Hiro Manoa diving in on the inside. You saw draw back and then dive on in. The placement of the vehicle, the maturity at such a young age, the capabilities that he's doing for, I would say, very veteran-esque is so admirable. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And really, like, Hurst laying down a solid lead run here, like getting a ton of speed into that first outside zone. Doesn't light off the tires quite soon enough in the second outside zone. Manoa does a really good job to adapt to it. And you can see Hurst here really just trying to fight to see how fast he wants to keep this car through the second outside zone. Manoa once again reading what's going on in the lead, and then adding that stamp at the very end of just a really close tandem. It's something that we see a lot of phenomenal drivers do. They always want to finish the run as strong as possible. They want the last impression in the judge's mind to be he was on his door. It's the last thing they're thinking about. And look at Manoa, just driving very similar to the way that Hurst does, and this is what we're seeing out of Hiro, is that he's adaptable. He kind of mirrors what the other driver does, and it's an incredible skill. Hurst, though, solid lead run.
Is it enough?
Is it enough?
I don't think so.
Don't think
neither
so.
do the judges. Hiro Manoa, some dominant driving there. Like I said, just here in his sophomore season, 1.5 seasons in, the winning percentage. Jonathan Hurst, great driving, but just gets outpowered by the young buck, Hiro Manoa. Most recent winner. He is chalking it up quite a bit as our bracket is slowly getting shaped up here. Like I said, just a slow drip, but now we're going to turn on that faucet and let it flow. Let it flow. All right, so again, our top 16 bracket being shaped up. When we come back, we'll continue the action here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. On deck next, Looks like Osbo and Daigo Saito.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Get out there and have fun. Because you've got Meguiar's. And we've got your back. From wash, to paint care, to maintenance and more, Meguiar's has your hybrid ceramic solution for every adventure. Meguiar's, reflect your passion.
This is where champions are made. Born from Formula Drift. Engineered for your daily drive. Where Kenda's Vezda UHP Max Plus proves it's not just track ready. It's street dominant. This is podium to pavement. Vezda UHP Max Plus, only from Kenda. Find yours today at kendatire.com.
BC Forged Wheels, custom built per order, offering extensive design, finish, and machining options. Strength, style, and precision come standard. Track proven, street ready. BC Forged, proud sponsor of Formula Drift 2025.
And we are back to the Gauntlet. We are hearing, and also we are hearing that Ben Hobson is out. Ben Hobson is forced to retire. We saw him shut it down there in the second outside zone. So Kenshiro Gushi will advance on. He'll have a bye run. Absolutely gutted for Mr. Hobson. So here's Ken Gushi, his bye run, and he will advance on. So again, the field is so stacked, there's going to be some broken hearts. I mean, there's, okay, weird flex, but not okay. Kenshiro Gushi and OG 2004 since day one, and a great Toyota ambassador. Love Ken Gushi, his energy and what he's got going on. Gretty back at it. Kenji, I saw you in the building. Didn't say hi, but I high-fived you with my eyes. The Gretty Motul, Kenda Tires, Toyota GR86 will advance on. Unfortunately, Ben Hobson will see you at the movies.
He'll be around. He'll hang out. I mean, Ben's such a positive figure in the sport too. I mean, it's been a rough go, but he'll always have a smile on his face and look forward to the next event.
Two champions, Frederick Osbo, Daigo Saito, international superstars, Freddie and Daigo Saito. Daigo rejoining Formula Drift competition. Just such a treat to have him back. Very talented driver. He's going against Frederick Osbo, who got the victory in Long Beach. Definitely a fun having Frederick.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of having lunch with him after Long Beach. He came out to the crib and we had a nice time and just chalked it up. He's in a better mind space, he told me, than he was in previous years.
Yeah.
He's just kind of letting it go. You know, you can only control what you can control, and right now he's controlling a Supra, and he's just having a lot of fun. He's always had a great attitude, but as you know, ebbs and flows, man, peaks and valleys. The darkness makes the colors that much more vivid. Speaking of vivid, let's have a vivid initiation. Here we go, Frederick Osbo. Big initiation. Daigo Saito not part of the equation. That Ajuka Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, Bathing Ape livery, having some struggles there in that second outside zone. Now he's just going to grind. He's going to go to the mosh pit here, listen to some thrash metal, going to that last outside zone. Diving in is Freddie. Daigo Saito dives, but it checks up and it slaps back, slapping the base big time in that last outside zone. So Daigo having a bit of struggles there in that chase position. Didn't seem that Freddie did any sort of momentum change at all.
No, Freddie just a massive initiation. I mean, he's initiating at the 3 line, like as far out as you possibly can, and that's really, really tough to hang with. And after that, it took Daigo Saito just a little bit to get back in. Starts to go for the, as you said, the grind through the second outside zone. The Freddie snappy transitioning, getting into 3. The judges made it very clear, we want you to transition and then slow down. Don't slow down before, but Freddie floats this out for so long. Like, he's basically initiating, coming out from underneath the tunnel, and then just has that car perfectly lined up in the first outside zone. Super, super solid way to get things kicked off. Not that it's like hard to chase, it's just a difficult maneuver in general to be able to pull off and make it look that good. So really, really cool there. Yeah, I mean, swapping it around. Let's see what's going on with Daigo, see what he's going to throw down.
Yeah.
He drives well angry, so
yeah.
I don't think he's happy right now.
Yeah, I would say after that second outside zone, look at him. I mean, he is just lighting them up already, just giving it the beans. Into that first outside zone, here goes Daigo Saito. Freddie in tow, now transitioning into that second. There we go, that's Daigo. That's what, like you said, maybe drives a little bit angry here. That can work out for him, getting into the dirt, but look at Freddie even jumps off the bridge with them just a touch, losing a tread there. And now coming in last outside zone, the GT Radials grip up on outside zone 3. With Freddie making the jump to Kenda, almost slapping back into the side of that Toyota GR Supra. And unfortunately, I think with Daigo's mistakes in the chase position, that's hard to make up. And Freddie was right there everywhere Daigo went, and then some.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a battle for the ages. It's actually the 9th time that they've battled each other over the years. And we go way, way back in the old database. Freddie does have the advantage, 5 wins over Daigo, who took home 3. So we'll see how this balances out at the end. But Daigo, this just shows how solid of a driver he is throughout this lead run. I really do think that Freddie's initiation was just so insane. It's incredibly difficult to be able to keep up with that. But Daigo showing why he was a champ, why he's such a legendary driver out here in the lead. Super fast, super agile all the way through, tons of tire smoke, good angle all the way through the entire run, and just a solid lead run there from Daigo. But that's what you need to do after having a mistake like that he had in the chase, and Freddie doing everything he's supposed to do. Such a veteran in the sport, and knowing like, okay, I got to keep it active. I want to stay close. I want to make sure there's no issues. But if Daigo does have a problem, I want to be able to pull out of the situation.
Yeah, very fun to see these two veterans of drifting, not even Formula Drift, but Frederick Osbo gets the victory overall. Some crazy stats, as you said. They've seen the competition quite a bit. So again, oh, what? You didn't give me any. Oh, it's okay. Oh, we got to share them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, see how many snacks I'll give you, Vernon. As we are seeing Freddie head back, and it will be Frederick Osbo versus either Dylan Hughes or Jack Shanahan.
Yeah, this left side of the bracket is just nuts. I mean, there's a massive implication into all the championship points in this left side.
And you can see the stats here. Both BMWs, and these guys have gone against each other earlier this year with Jack Shanahan once. And you can see Dylan Hughes got the victory over Jack previously. And here we go. All right, so taking a look at Dylan Hughes initiating into Jack Shanahan. And Dylan Hughes into that first and now second outside zone. There goes Shanahan. Transitioning past. Oh, nice job by Jack Shanahan. Great pressure there. Dylan Hughes past that inside clip. Now into that last, and there's that Irish transition. Just drops into formation and keeping their composure. Nice job by Dylan and Jack.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, he's finally feeling comfortable in this car. Just, it takes so long. This is a really unique chassis. It actually is very similar to the new Supras, so it's a chassis that's difficult to kind of come to grips with, but Jack is starting to figure it out. Dylan Hughes on an absolute heater out in the lead, though. Really quick, good job in the angle. Look at Jack just worming his way in there, nudging, trying to decide how much contact he really wants to make with D. Hughes out front. And the Dozer putting on an absolute clinic in the lead, giving every opportunity for Jack to be able to get into the chase and start to work his way around. And yeah, it just the confidence that Jack has, we saw it in seeding. When he transitions like that, the only time you can make those transitions and make those dives is when you absolutely trust everything that's going on in the car. We're starting to see that with Jack Shanahan.
Here we go, Jack Shanahan out front, the 59 BMW goes on in on the Kumo tires. The car grips up, now transition. Dylan Hughes backs off. That could have been really bad there. Now, look at these guys. I mean, this is a great battle. The proximity, the angle, all of it right now, really delivering between Shanahan and Dylan Hughes. That is a big flame, and that is not where you want to see him coming from. That was engulfed. He did cross the finish line, and let's look. He drives right off. Make sure that was an absolute fireball.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a bang.
I don't want to take any
speculate.
guesses. Yeah.
Let's not speculate on what went down, but that just engulfed. You know, we've seen like a big explosion like Odie in Atlanta last year, which is boom. That was just absolutely explosive. That seemed just like it was a quick flame and then it extinguished.
Yeah, really, really strange. But I mean, Jack able to get across the line, didn't zero out on that run, which is nuts. And the forethought to get out of the way, get over to the officials, and get the car dealt with if there was a bigger flame. But let's take a look at this battle. Jack, really early initiation. Dylan Hughes matches it though, tucks right into the side of Jack Shannon. Was a ton of angle going into the first part of the second outside zone. What I really like is Dylan's able to make the adjustments, but he's not really projecting those adjustments. And the transition from Dylan Hughes, taking notes, and that's when we see that fire jump off of Jack, able to get the car through the rest of it. I think he just grabs the e-brake, tries to slide the car around, and able to get through, although he's missing a good chunk of the zone, which is going to happen if you've got some sort of large engine failure. There's not much you can do. It's just hold on for dear life and hope the flames don't come in. Jack real aggressive, and then on that transition, that's when we see it coming out of the front right side. As you can hear the crowd erupting, wondering what's going on as Jack then coasts the car over. So transitions out. I think he gets back on the throttle, and then something lets go. So, really tough to say. It's all the way in the wheel well, too, all the way up front. And it's really quick, and I think he kills the engine at that point. Yeah, big flash. So tough to say. That is the side that the turbo is on, so that's where my brain originally goes, is did something let go in the turbo, and that's what ended up doing it. But hard to say. Glad he's all right. Glad everything's all right. Team checking it over, looking to see if they got to get the fire extinguisher out. But thankfully, everything is good as we get our safety crew out there, get them loaded back up onto it and off the track, and judges are going to take a look.
Oh, look at that. Dylan Hughes takes out Jack Shannon. So not only for Jack is this a loss, but again, that debut coming over here, very talented driver. But Dylan, he knows his course. He does have one win, 4 podiums overall, 2 top 4 finishes. So we know that Dylan's got it. So does Jack. Very talented driver. Like I said, going into business, the first year, you're going to take some hits. Second year, you learned a lot. Third year, you're reaping the rewards. But look at that. The smoke accumulating, and then you saw it. I mean, that's just everywhere. It might have been like a fuel line or some oil on something. I mean, just some oil on a manifold really quick and just flash. But I bet he just turned it off immediately.
Yeah, agreed. I'm hoping that's the case.
But Dylan Hughes, again, gets the victory. He's his highest finish. I mean, overall last year, 11th last year in 20. And taking a look, it looks like 16, half of them. I mean, dude, some big names: Hobson, Ryan Turk, Daigo Saito, Jack Shanahan. This left side was stacked.
It was a tough side of the bracket. Very tough. And this is what it's leaving us with, which is going to be an absolutely nuts top 16. So.
All right, when we come back, we will see the second side of the round of 32. We got a full house here at E-Town. When we come back, the gauntlet continues.
Drifting is not just a sport, it's culture, it's in our blood.
Here we go, Andy Haley. Oh, he is riding that tire right on that white line.
Tires are what we live and breathe in Formula D. We couldn't do this without them.
There's a place no map will show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic table? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nailed, every second we shaved, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. Look like fun? It is. You in?
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you?
I'd like a 10-piece crispy chicken nuggets, please, and a Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
Love that car, baby.
What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Turk, and we're taking it from Turk. We are going to switch things up. We're going to talk about one of my favorite moments from the Turk series. From years ago when we filmed 4 seasons of that, I did opposite controls where I put the driver, all he had to do was handle the handbrake and the steering wheel, and then I operated the clutch, brake, and gas pedal. And Forsberg was my pilot.
Tony is going to be in my passenger seat controlling everything. I'll be in the driver's seat only doing the wheel.
Hopefully controlling everything.
Hopefully controlling everything.
And it was just, it worked way better than I had anticipated. Like, there was some mistakes, but nothing catastrophic.
You're an idiot.
And I just remember that happened here at Englishtown. And it was just an absolute blast because it was the freakiest feeling. It was like almost like we were calling out like shift, handbrake, or like push the clutch in or more gas or whatever. It was just such a different way to try to drive a drift car, and just super fun because now you have a buddy and a co-pilot that's also driving the car. So pretty unique experience. I wish I still had that car so we could just take it out for fun every once in a while. Actually, now that I'm saying this, I'm gonna build another one. Take it from Turk. Have some fun.
Well, taking a look at that Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota activation. One of those cars advances onto the 16. That's Frederick Osbo. Unfortunately, Ryan Turk knocked out early here in the 32. The 4-1 works. You can see the Formula Supra. Well, this paddock looked very different Thursday afternoon. It was hell in a handbasket. It was scary. Fortunately, nobody got hurt. We talked about Jeff Jones and sensationalizing it, but let's take a look because everybody had their perspective. Kind of, where were you June 19th, 2025 at E-Town? Because tents were flying, cars got damaged, but overall, everybody was okay. So again, act of God here. We saw lightning, said get out of the bleachers, and very, very unfortunate turn of events there. Mother Nature had a different idea for E-Town. Let's take a look.
Yo, what the Holy oh my God!
This was bad. Luckily our awning is mostly okay, but there's a lot of damage here. I feel really bad for Jeff Jones in front of me there. His car getting mangled up.
Car, I'm good. I was trying to save my awning while it was going crazy. that was a whole other adventure. Okay, so again, I was not in the car when that happened. I'm fine. Chris Knapp, the owner of track's gonna find me a window, some roll cage material. We'll figure this out. I'm gonna get off here so I can get back to work and figure this crap out. Thanks, Eric. Later.
Wow. So again, we were here. We saw it. We were up in the tower. Everybody, like I said, talking to even fans. One fan says, "Yeah, I was there." Jack Shanahan was a porta potty.
Yeah.
Rome Charpentier's dad was in there. Rome helped a mother and a child in a porta potty.
Crazy.
One dude was out there, got pulled in a snack shack, and one dude was in the bathroom, saw a woman under a truck, pulled her into the building. I mean, everybody's got perspective. The radium cats, they were gone. The radium antenna or the radium tent was on top of the bleachers. The concrete bricks, 24 by 20, 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet square, went up in the air. 2 of them ended up on top. Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it came out of nowhere. Like,
it
no
came out of
warnings,
nowhere.
no
Even
nothing.
the airport didn't even know. The
Yeah.
Cessna took off, landed, and they were celebrating that it even landed. So
literally their
it was
job to check
bonkers
the weather.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So here we go. Speaking of bonkers right now, Jonathan Castro, second in Orlando, going against Austin Mata. It does Mata. Here we go into that first outside zone. Tucks into position there. Jonathan Castro, like I said, a lot of momentum, not only into that second outside zone, but coming here into New Jersey. Austin, look at that, mimicking that really good, solid angle, go past the inside clip. Both of them right on it there. Now to that last outside zone, Castro throws it in the car, rips up with those Kenda tires, now transitioning out and going across the finish line. Good straightforward line approach, mimicking the angle, good placement. Castro a little deeper, but Austin really mimicking the angle, liked it.
Yeah, Castro just seems like in a completely different place now, and the momentum you get after a podium in a previous round just kind of sets you up with this just bold confidence. And Castro, very solid through this whole thing, and this is where Mata does a good job with the proximity, does a good job with the angle, but not with the line. And we'll continue to talk about those 3 points and how you want to play with that. And then here you see Mata does a little bit better with the line and the angle, but not the proximity. So trying to balance those 3 points out, trying to get as much of that together throughout the chase as you can. But Jonathan Castro out front, phenomenal job, fills all the zones, great transitions, looks smooth, looks relaxed, like calm, not fighting with the wheel, not chopping at it, just set it and forget it all the way around.
And here we go, taking a look. Austin Mata initiates into this first outside zone, and Jonathan Castro brings it on into the second. Look at Austin, that rate to angle going to that second outside zone. I think it caught Castro off guard. You can see him there not mimicking that angle there past the inside clip. He just barely nudges it over with that front left headlight. Again, his rate to angle, the snappy transitions, very aggressive, very just. That's how Austin is, you know, intense. You look at him get out of the car, tatted neck, kind of hardcore, but very soft-spoken, lets his driving, positive attitude, but just that rate to angle, just, you know, looks like the car embodies like thrash metal. You want to throw the horns looking at it.
Yeah, it's snappy, and he gets into this really, really quick, but it does take him a little bit to light it off in the first zone, and that is something the judges talked about. They want you lighting the wheels off very, very quickly, and then Castro, a lot more hesitant in the chase throughout this run. But Mata, I mean, the rate to angle looks great, snaps it, gets the car over, almost doesn't even decel at any point, and just on throttle through the vast majority of it. But it does take him a little bit to light the tires off through the first outside zone. And as I said, that is something that the judges very much specified in the driver's meeting, which if you want to see, you can check that out online as well now, which is a phenomenal resource if you want to get down and nerdy about everything FD. And that might be the difference here. It is something that they talked about. But the rest of the run for Mata, outside of that, really, really good. That rate to angle, that snappiness, that style, I mean, that is not missing in the way that Mata drives.
Love it. Respect where respect is due for Austin Mata and Jonathan Castro. And you can see them chopping it up. And Austin got
good combo.
Got the Native American in him.
Yeah, great competitors here.
Yep. DR, Dominican's finest, and like I said, the change in livery of black, I think it just harnesses just a little bit of menace in Jonathan Castro. That it plays a role, like kind of an attitude, mental, you know, just kind of how you look, how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, you know, you wear a suit, there's a certain feeling you've got, right, versus just cut off jeans. Like, and I do think the livery, the race suit, all that stuff, it can really affect the mindset and change maybe the way that that drivers are. You get a bit more attitude in it, you drive a little bit more aggressive. And take a look here at the side-by-side. So we'll check it out on the left. Jonathan Castro in the lead, on the right, Mata in the lead. And a little bit of an offset in the timing will give us a cool opportunity to see how each person enters each zone. And it's really comparable between the two. Mata getting a bit more proximity in the chase on the left-hand side. And the inside clip, I mean, Mata was pretty deep through that on his lead on the right. So a couple of different points to look at here. A couple of points both drivers need to clean up, but solid runs here in top 32. Both drivers stepping their game up every single event, just driving a little bit different, a little more aggressive, and we'll see what the judges think.
Do we have a winner? Slide him left for Castro, right for Mata, and Castro gets the win. Reese, I'd love to talk to you. It was unanimous. I liked Austin's rate to angle. Castro, you know, placement of the car. Did Austin impede on Castro? What's your guys' take?
So, like, Mata did have a really good lead, but we're also looking at everything that's on there as well, too. He was a little bit more accurate on interclip 1 as well.
Who was?
Excuse me, Mata was. Okay. So Mata was really good on interclip 1. Excuse me. Castro was really good on interclip 1 going through. So it was a really good lead line, but at the same time, we see that the depth that also Mata had in certain spots in outside zone 2 was a little bit on the shallower side. So even though he did read to angle, there was a little bit coming out. It wasn't as deep as we wanted to. Instead, we need him to be deep in the zones. We need to be accurate on the interclips, and that's where, you know, that's where the differential is.
So Castro. Yeah. All right, Castro unanimously gets the win. Daniel Stuckey and battered, bruised, big drift energy, living up to the skin of his roof. Literally, a tree was smashing into that. Now I feel like he is Groot now. He's taking on the harness of the trees. Daniel Stuckey and that M-Spec Performance S chassis initiates into that first outside zone. Here's that Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z of Jeff Jones. He might be fixed, but he's getting that vehicle back there. That's what Reese was just talking about. Placement of the vehicle, get deeper into that outside zone chase position, taking out that inside clip. Now into outside zone 3. Daniel Stuckey almost out to that edge of the course. That's showing you that he is deeper with that S chassis. So again, all the sensationalism of that storm. Jeff Jones, the Evo AutoWorks Z. We get a little deeper here, but let's check out the Truth Serum camera on the angle.
Yeah, Stuckey up front, we talk about how light the car is, and what that allows him to do is be just a little bit more aggressive when it comes to some of the transitions and the way he's able to handle the car, because he's not carrying as much momentum. And you see some of that here, and Jeff Jones really fighting to get that car back into the pocket, trying to get this win over Stuckey right now. Stuckey, three wins over one with Jeff. And I mean, I don't know if these drivers are really looking at that. I know we are, but that you know in your heart that you've lost to somebody a few times. You start to drive a little bit differently, and with Jeff, I think it's going to harness a lot of energy, and he's got nothing to lose right now. Almost lost the car, and he's back in the battles.
Right? I mean, 100 events Jeff has been participating in Formula Drift. So he has been, this is 101st for him, Jeff Jones, now transitioning into this outside zone, showing you his seniority here. Put some respect on it. Look at this. So here's Daniel Stuckey now. He found himself on the outside looking in, and then he dips the back end of that 527 S chassis, and now bringing it back into that last outside zone. Placement of the car. We'll see. Take a look again, that overhead shot. We have so many different angles, and using all of this course, you really just need to, you can't really jump to conclusions here. You know, getting that dynamic angle, try to call it as I see him, but then I've been wrong, and I'll be wrong again. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, Jeff, taking a little bit to get the car lit off through the first outside zone. Stuckey has to hold up and delay a little bit, and then do the second. Now Stuckey's on a really, really tight line, and then falls into the pocket. Does such a good job of that. So not easy to do that. And then Jeff a bit wider on the inside clip, transitioning back out, gets on throttle, and Stuckey's right there, times that perfectly. So Jeff got a couple of really good spots in there that he's able to get the zone filled out, really fill it. But just some of the timing when it comes to being through that zone, I think that's where he's got to work a little bit. And Stuckey did take advantage of that, although he wasn't super happy with how shallow he was for the first part of that zone. But in my mind, really does a great job of making up for it when it comes to the rest of the zone. So both drivers needing a little bit of work there, but you have two very different styles of driving, two very different builds in cars, two methodologies in building those cars too, and it leads to some really, really interesting battles. A lot of respect between these two drivers as well, lots of fun, and just, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm stoked to see Jeff Jones back out here. The spirit of drifting, as we talk about, is well and alive here in New Jersey, and the camaraderie has been phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could read lips a little bit better, but Jeff already showing dance moves if he makes it into the top 16 ceremonies.
Yeah, just the camaraderie and the joy and all of it. So as fun as it is, you want to move on, you want to advance on, but I think there's a big win for Jeff and his team, like you said, just taking the humility and saying, hey, it's not just about me, it's about everybody. And look at this, one more time. So it's a one more time. And one of them saying Jeff Jones, so that is Vernon there saying Jeff Jones, but outnumbered there by the one more times of Stuckey and Jones. So we will go back and revisit that battle. OMT. Next up, we got Chris Forsberg, who has 152 events.
Jeez.
So you got to think, I mean, you know, whatever Jeff has done is 100 events. Now, again, 1.5 times. So,
Yeah.
you know, Chris Forsberg, 10 wins overall, 47 podiums. You know, the winning percentage, you know, it might not be as high as somebody say as Hiro Manoa, 1.5 years, but that, you know, the sheer amount of numbers is impressive, or the number 74%, but keep in mind that 152 events at 63% winning average, the longevity and consistency shows you how relevant Chris Forsberg is. E-Town, his home track, you know, the Drift Alliance forged here. Rudy Hansen, obviously a lovable gentleman, him and his lovely wife, you know, competing in pro spec. So love to see that as Rudy Hansen, you know, talking about his numbers and his stats, 18 events. He does have a podium under his belt. He finished 4th in Atlanta just earlier this year. So let's see, Chris Forsberg will lead Rudy Hansen, give and chase. This should be a good battle. Two very different styles, a veteran and a mildly newcomer by comparison. Definitely a newcomer compared to Chris Forsberg. Forsberg in that all-new Z, the Oscar drink. Nissan, Nismo, Z now ripping past that inside clip. Rudy Hansen now will transition to that last outside zone. Rudy tries to dive in, gets a little too aggressive there. Want to see that overhead view, almost overcooked it, getting involved with the dirt, and then has to back down. So again, Rudy Hansen, 18 events overall, 40% match win percentage. Let's look at it again, that overhead view.
Yeah, Rudy Hansen just throwing everything at it, because Chris Forsberg's getting this track absolutely nailed. His ability to get on the throttle at the right times, really smooth transitions. We're getting back to the Chris Forsberg of old. He's had some struggles, but he's coming into his own again, and it's showing. Getting on the throttle there, and Rudy missing a bit of the timing, but does a phenomenal job of not going deep into the dirt, binning that car. If you get off in zone 3, it is not going to be a good time. Yeah, it's all over. It's a good chance you're into the concrete. You're spraying the brown rooster tail. It's just not a good time. So, Rudy, good job in trying to commit super hard on that section and not, you know, making us take a bit more time to get you off track.
It could have been an absolute gravel machine gun on that last outside zone 3, and we've seen him in pro spec practice, all of it. So, Rudy Hansen's got the clean arrow, the neon nose, taking his jet ski inspired livery here on that first outside zone. Now transitioning outside zone 2. Chris Forsberg forges an attack. The trunk pop there, but not affecting too much here. Now Chris Forsberg almost banging door past that inside clip. Let's see the transition here in outside zone 3. Forsberg tries to anticipate that and goes into outside zone. Stand and deliver like Edward James almost past that finish line. And the Neft vodka on the roof. Him, Adam LZ, and Matt Field. Little mixers, little cocktail post-event at Sneaky Pete's with a little Nos and Neft.
Yeah, and Rudy, I mean, knowing how kind of darty he was previously in the run does smoothen this out quite a lot. Good transition through here, lights off, but takes a bit of angle out, and some of that just comes down to how gripped up he's got the car. It gets on the throttle, you can see it start to swing out. Chris does an amazing job of adapting to that, staying tight in the chase, but not overcommitting at any point in time, and really driving to the person that's in front of him, not getting crazy, not doing anything silly, just putting down a solid run. And Chris Forsberg, as you said, just such a veteran. Yeah, such a veteran. He's seen everything.
He's seen it all, man, across the globe, across the world. A few of us are going over to Goodwood Festival Speed. I know Chris is one of those, so excited to go over there once again, Goodwood Festival Speed. I know a lot of electricity, literally over in Los Angeles too, Electrify Expo. Shout out to Parker and Pete watching the Electrify Racing League and watching Formula Drift as we take a look at our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side. You see Forsberg initiating outside zone 1, Good proximity to the chase, now transitioning to outside zone 2. Other standout points for you there, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is really, really fluid throughout this, and you can see he's on the right-hand side. He's gaining that proximity through there. The inside clips look pretty identical, and then outside zone 3, really, to me, Rudy overcommits in one section. I think that created a bit of an issue, and that's where I see that end of things. Chris, I would have liked to have seen a bit more, a bit closer throughout the run, but I understand what he was trying to do there. I just hope it doesn't hurt him when it comes to the judging call.
The MagnaFlow exhaust flowing like lightning. Again, Chris Forsberg has Forsberg edition truck now.
That's crazy.
Hansen very busy with not only campaigning his car, but obviously his wife as well. And there it is. Chris Forsberg gets the win. Rudy Hansen unfortunately knocked out the Team Hansen S chassis. We will see you in St. Louis. Great attitude, you and your lovely wife. We'll see you guys in St. Louis. Chris Forsberg gets the win and advances on. So he'd love to have a victory. It's been a minute since we've seen him atop the podium, but he definitely wants to put it down here in E-Town. Best place in the world. Hashtag. That's what they call it. The Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Adam LZ and Rad Dan. Go grab a slice of a Sally's pizza. I think there's some downstairs.
Oh, really?
I'll bring some up.
Ooh, okay. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Woodbury, Connecticut's own, now living in Florida. And again, PNW, that's where Dan Burkett's from, but now living in Florida as well. So two Floridians with their drift compounds and making the move down south, out where making a move downtown.
Yeah. It's going all that seat time, man. That's I'm telling you, Florida, as much seat time as you can handle, as long as you can deal with the heat.
You're over at OSW as well.
Yeah. So this is battle of Florida here. So
Adam LZ got a podium. He got third place. You got a signature wheel now?
He does it? Yeah, maybe.
You.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, he'll engrave anything.
All right. Adam LZ initiated into that Drift HQ BMW E36. Dan Burkett, how is he navigating through that smoke? He's not. I think he got blinded. Like I said, I mean, how he came out of that would be insane. And it looks like LZ continues on through the paces. Didn't see any contact. He was back there quite a bit. Man, the amount of smoke that BMW is kicking off is just biblical, man. He is just riding the train. Looks like cotton coming out of the back.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. I mean, he's rocking the wheel speed. Adam's done, as we said, Adam's podiumed here. He has won here. He loves this track, and I think you got that dialed. It looks like he completely smoked out Rad Dan through that first part. Knows how to get those wheels lit up, and it's not something we talk about a lot, but kind of using that smoke trail to your advantage, and that's the case. If you're not in the right spot in the chase, if you're not completely next to them out of that smoke line, it's impossible to see. And Adam, you know, just absolutely pumping out the smoke on that, which doesn't make it any easier on Rad Dan, who I think bailed out because he realized he was in the wrong spot, and that's the right thing to do, because if you are in the wrong spot and you don't bail out, we're going to be fishing you off the top of the wall.
Adam LZ, he won here in E-Town in 2023. Rad Dan Burkett, love to get on the box. The Rad Industries Supra, he has a big uphill climb here in that Mark IV Supra. He tries transition. He came out a little bit early, maybe even fighting the car a little bit there on the transition, but the Mark IV Supra definitely a weapon. Now he is leading, and Adam LZ chasing him down. Big angle there. He tries to throw it out as he finishes and crosses that finish line. So let's see where he ends up. But again, Rad Dan, Pro-Am judge, Z3 party carts at the shop, definitely active on YouTube. He's talking about the fuel pressure yesterday, having some issues with fuel pressure.
Yeah.
The pump went out. So he's been battling the car a little bit here this weekend.
They did get it back out and threw it on the dyno, and it seemed everything was all right, but it almost looks like he was down on power the way that the car is driving. It's just not able to get the car to move the way he wanted to, although the second outside zone looked really good, and Adam does a great job. His spotter Ginge definitely is here telling him, hey, like, don't go too crazy on this, but it's almost like Dan's car didn't come alive until after the first outside zone is what it almost felt like. Just the way that he got through, it looked really grippy. It looked like it was down maybe a couple hundred horsepower, but either way,
Yeah, unfortunate that big spin there. Adam LZ unanimously gets the win. So, you know, Rad Industries, a lot of their parts being used across the globe. Here, you know, almost every 2J car is running Rad Industries billet parts from here to Drift Masters all across the globe. So, looks like we are 3/4 of the way completed with our top 32. As you can see, 4 more spaces. That means 4 more battles left for our top 32 of the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. When we come back, we'll continue here at the Gauntlet, aka E-Town.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Blink Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU.
Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an F824 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's stock K24 or it's a 1,000-wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you?
I'd like a 10-piece crispy chicken nuggets, please, and a Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
We're here with Rudy Hansen, O'Reilly Auto Part Random Part Challenge. Brother,
It's an alternator, like regulator, rectifier.
what? It is an ignition module switch from 2018 Subaru STI. But hey, way to commit though. I had no idea. So even guessing something, I was like, it's something electronic. I'm gonna take a page out of Hiro Manoa's book and just say, it's for a car.
This is kind of like some part of engine.
Keep killing it. Yeah. I'm here with my buddy Jonathan Castro, podium guy. Good job last round, brother.
Thank you.
Tell me what that is.
Oh my God. This is a connector for some sort of BDM.
This is a, what was it again? I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is either. They showed it to me and I'm just like...
Alright, you guys are doing an amazing job. Not even your guy knows about it. So this is good. I think I'm covered. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Oh, it's so bad. That's all right, me too. I had no idea what this was. So. Brother, what that is?
Since it's a challenge, I would say it's probably not what it is, but first of all, it looks like a fuse.
Okay, okay.
But a type of sensor could be. I've never seen anything like it, so my first guess is a sensor.
Close. It's a ignition control module.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would never guess that.
I would never guess it either. I was wrong if it makes you feel any better. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Makes me feel a lot better.
Hold on, he needs a Sharpie. Hold on, he needs a
Sharpie, we're actually working here, so I'm just distracting.
Ooh, let's see. Some sort of resistor?
For something. It's definitely for something. Oh, I didn't notice those. HLD and B and C. I don't know if that means anything to you, because it means nothing to me.
You know what? This is hard. I've watched the other ones, and I knew what those were.
Not a big wiring guy.
Not a huge wiring guy either, so.
Valiant effort, my friend. Thank you.
You learn something new every day.
Connor, what that is.
Holy God. Can I guess the car?
Sure.
Mini Cooper?
Sure. I'm gonna give him that as a win. Ignition control module.
Oh.
It's like impossible. Nobody, like, how would you know? How would you ever guess that? I'd never guess that. They're like, what is this? I'm like, I don't have a clue. It has electricity, that's all I know.
Just remember.
Baby, we're back. You can blame it all on me because we are seeing our last quarter of our top 32. Taking a look. It looks like we are seeing this is our one more time battle of Jeff Jones and Daniel Stuckey. Jones and Stuckey forced to go one more time. It was a majority, so it was a 2-1. And Stuckey, you can see, they had a good time. You can see the percentage and the winning average. So Stuckey has gotten Jeff Jones' number 3 out of the 4 times. Stuckey will lead. Almost, man, just flirt with those cones, man, getting a restart. Not a big deal. But here we go. Daniel Stuckey, aggressive initiation. Quick little handbrake yank. So that was good. Massaged it in. Jeff Jones, he's getting to the side of it. That's AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. Big drift energy. Hot pit auto fast. Now coming past that inside clip. Bang, right on it. Jeff Jones, good fluidity. But I'll tell you what, Stuckey is putting up, just building a really good platform there. That was very fluid. It's like, kind of no news is good news from Stuckey. Wasn't anything crazy over the top and didn't really make many mistakes. He had great placement in order for Jeff to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, pretty solid run from both of them. I mean, Stuckey's ability to keep it through that first outside zone. I mean, I'm glad he's improving at all these spots, but yeah, he's just on it. And Jeff, I mean, taking a tighter line approach and then getting into the side of Stuckey here, really, really trying to push that pace. Great transition from both drivers. Jeff getting on the throttle, trying to push back in, and then a little bit of a boop there, push him across the line. But Stuckey, solid. I mean, that's the most stable run I've seen from him in a long time, where didn't look like he was fighting the car, didn't look like anything crazy was going on. Our line workers there taking a look at Jeff Jones, who did have that small contact with Stuckey right near the end of outside zone 3. Seems like everything is all good. Definitely not the worst that car has seen in the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's like, what? Like I said, I am Groot.
Well, the big thing is, like, that was a big log that came down. So it was, you know, it's something that's not going to, like, it could compress the suspension, it could break so many things underneath the car, not just the bar. So yeah, it was a good time, but glad that they got everything fixed and he's back up and running.
And here we go with Jeff Jones out front, Daniel Stuckey in the chase position. Jeff is going to swing his thing into that first outside zone, and he does that quick little correction, little feet of the wheel into the second outside zone, hopping his way in, and puts it right in the middle of that second outside zone. Looks like keeps that back right in. Daniel Stuckey mimicking good angle there. Now let's see how they flick into this last outside zone. Precision. Stuckey a little late with the swing into that last outside zone. Good placement overall. Want to see that overhead. Keep in mind, this is their second one more time battle. Would love to see a victor advance on. We're really trying to twist the screws and minimize the one more times from previous seasons.
Yeah, but with a track like this and the way everybody's been driving, I think we're going to see a lot more. I mean, you're going to get your bang for your buck this weekend, because there is a lot of great battles and drivers are stepping up. And look at Stuckey, the same thing he did previously, just sinking back in. And look at how parallel he is all the way through that. does a great job here of going deep into the outside zone 3, having to get back on throttle, pulls out just a little bit earlier, but able to keep that proximity. Jeff Jones out front. Once again, just a little late to light those tires off. It's something he's been kind of struggling with, but solid throughout the zones. Really good job in the lead. See, that car is hooked up. He is fighting to keep it from shooting out of that zone, having to wrangle everything back, and then he's able to use that in transition. So the benefit is when you have a car that's doing that kind of lurching and they're holding it back, when you get to transition, when that car does hook up, you go really quick. So they're not sure either. They're going to rock, paper, scissors. I think that's 2-1 for Stuckey. Oh, 2 for Stuckey.
There it is, the rock, paper, scissors, dude. Jeff, that's how we've defaulted to.
Yeah.
We're going rock, paper, scissors here. And that just shows the lighthearted fun that we are doing. But looks like Daniel Stuckey gets 1 vote, gets 2 votes, and Stuckey gets the victory over Jeff Jones. But again, round of applause for Jeff Jones and his team. Jeff, hold your head high, buddy. Some great driving. And of course, just, you know, he did it was crazy because he did the Formula Drift Instagram takeover, and I mean, he took it over, and Mother Nature, like I said, just, you know, the tree smashed down. It was crazy. It was insane. Glad he's okay, and again, the car lives on. Speaking of Daniel Stuckey, the M-Spec carbon Kevlar there on Odie's vehicle. That carbon Kevlar weave looking good on Odie's vehicle. Andy Haley, another Evil Autoworks vehicle, coming to us from Southern California, but Andy Haley, sponsored by Evil Autoworks. He was having some issues. He kept going off on outside zone 3. Did you talk to him about his car and what he's got going on? Send it.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him about that. To me, when I was watching it, it was just he was trying to transition really late to get the car sunk in and then back on throttle, and it really comes down to a timing thing, especially the way they've got the inside clip and the way they want you to transition. They want you transitioning essentially on throttle. Once you are going the other direction, then you can slow the car up. So it seemed like he was practicing that and how far in the zone he could take it.
Here we go, Odie Bakshis throws it in that first outside zone. A lot of handbrake there, massaging it in. And now in that second outside zone, that allows Andy Haley. Look at Odie just work it right in that second outside zone. The Drift Wizard, sorcery. Don't know if exactly it's working right now. Odie, oh my gosh, almost goes off, but I mean, that's what you want. That is that X factor that just shows you the car control and the positioning and the power that Odie has, especially in that lead position. Well done.
Yeah, it's his ability to get that car to catch at any point in time through a run is unmatched. And that, I mean, we talk a lot about his suspension and ability to build cars and the prowess that comes with that, but you still have to drive the car. And Odie is a phenomenal driver and lays down such a solid lead run, picks up so much speed here, and he does a great job of being able to keep up with it. And then Odie times that transition so well, makes it look so smooth, a bit of an adjustment midway through it, but overall really good. And whenever you're going up against Odie, you know he's going to be one of the fastest drivers on grid. He's going to push the line as much as he possibly can on grid, and Andy does a good job of staying in the pocket, not overcommitting, knowing that Odie can kind of bait you into the edge of the track, and Andy didn't bite, but it was a little bit safe.
Come on, come.
No, seriously.
Come frolic, lead you into deep waters.
Exactly. It's a technique.
All right, well, Andy Haley, a little late delivery there. I don't think it's past the point of no return, but you know, just kind of going and easing on into it. Wasn't very violent with it, and look at that great car placement. Odie Bakshis tucking in nicely right into that pocket like a marsupial and a kangaroo, like a baby Joey now in that last outside zone. Odie comes unwound a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, and some of that is Andy adding in a bunch more angle even through the third outside zone, and I think Odie just wanted to gain that proximity, so it may, I don't know if he came unwound or it just looks like that with the way Andy was adding the angle in comparison, but Odie a bit safe there, kind of missing the first outside zone, so maybe you're onto something there. It's just Odie not really able to get that power down and fighting the car quite a lot, so might be onto something with that, Jared. As you see, Andy through this looks good and tons of angle, and then so I'd be very, very curious to understand if something is going on with Odie's car, because he's got a bunch of grip dialed into it, and if the engine's not performing at peak efficiency, that grip means it's incredibly difficult to drive. So you have to have the right amount of power to the right suspension setup to get a car to drive very fluidly. So we're hearing the car's fine. Okay, all right. So
here we are.
So we get into our side-by-side here, and let's take another look at this with knowing Odie's car is all good. It really does. It feels like Odie's just kind of holding that car back, and that may be just a mixed match in speed as well. Just Andy's car not as quick as Odie's is, and I mean, that being said, you still have to be able to match what the other car is doing. So even if somebody is slower, you know, you've got to be able to drive with it. You've got to be able to you've got to be able to do what the other driver does. So
modify the angle, just massage it and adapt, and that's what it's all about. So as Andy Haley into that lead position, Odie Bakshi's chasing him down. So the judges reviewing right now. And taking a look, and it looks like they are putting in their verdicts between Odie and Andy Haley. So a pretty solid lead run there. Andy had some mistakes, so did Odie.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting run of trying to get the matching going between the drivers. Just two very, very different builds, different setups, and I mean, same thing. You've got to adapt either way, no matter what your car, your speed, your tire, your setup is. You've got to still got to be able to compete and get as close to the other driver as possible.
Waiting here patiently, and we're gonna have to take a look here. Odie Bakshi's, you know, he's another one of those drivers that has had championship-esque, as Ryan Sage would say, he always throws the esque in there, so I would say championship-esque attributes, just has never delivered as far as being a champion. But here it is, Odie Bakshi's, and gets one vote and one more time, so they are going at it again. Reese, would love to talk to you about this. We're going to elaborate on why it went one more time. And you actually went with Odie, correct?
Run, I just kind of felt like he did a better job in outside zone 2. I believe they were even in the inner clip. I believe in outside zone 3 I also gave it to Odie, but in outside zone 1 I actually gave it to Haley. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's the way I viewed it. I didn't really get into the details of why they ended up going one more time. I can only assume that they just saw that there was equal parts on both halves and they decided to go again.
So there you go. So it's going one more time there, and I think you learn, you advance on. So, you know, I know Justin Pollock is in the ear of Odie Bakshi's. You know, Amy Bakshi's, his wife, has been his spotter. So taking a look at the overhead here, you can see Odie leading on the left and Haley leading on the right. You can see Odie a little more aggressive on it, but that's adaptation. You know, you got to adapt and slide that car back there. You saw that pretty well from Haley in the chase. You saw, you know, that's how it is.
Yeah,
so,
that's how it is. You got to be able to drive against and with, and yeah, that's what it's all about.
Simon Olsen, Trenton Beecham seeing the roofs of these two vehicles. Simon Olsen will lead, and Beecham in the BMW. Wow, sans the hood. Simon really puts it perfectly into that first outside zone. The ESR Kumo Tires BMW chasing him down. Simon Olsen utilizing those Kenda tires, and Beecham tucks in. White Widow coming to this last outside zone. Simon puts it in there properly. Want to get that overhead view as dynamic and good. Don't just get all the angles, so we're going to work it, all the angles, and take a look at the tail of the tape.
Yeah, Simon's, I mean, he's back on proper form here, and it's really good to see. Gets into that first outside zone a little bit later to get the tires absolutely roasting, and then into our second, able to get the car stable a bit partway through, and there's where we start to see some of the left foot braking, filling at that outside zone, and Beecham really wrangling things in, gaining that proximity throughout, and then through here, Simon just on an absolute heater through the third outside zone, filling it completely, does a really good job, really stable throughout, and Beecham in the chase, not able to keep up through that last section. So Simon's practice throughout the weekend has been really, really good. It honestly feels like he's found his rhythm with this car. It's taken a little bit, and you know, now that decision to go on his own is starting to pay off.
Yeah, the car's set up. Learned a lot there working with Odie Bakshi's and getting that car dialed. But right now, Beecham gets the clean air in more ways than one. Sans the hood into that second outside zone and puts it right in. Simon also good proximity. A lot of these guys, you know, have that proximity, would like to mimic the angle, and also, again, drop back just a touch. Ooh, wow, aggressive from Beecham, and last one just turns on the smoke machine taking a look at some of the stats here from Simon Olsen. He's 3-0 versus Hobson this year. Freddie and Odie, he did lose to, but 34 events overall, 5 podiums. Had a win, an overall win, has escaped him so far.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's working towards that. What's really cool here is we're talking about two rookies of the year in their respective rookie seasons. You know, Beecham, a former Pro 2 champion at the time, really putting it down, and Simon, a fantastic competitor over in Norway. So it's a great battle. It's a great matchup, and both these drivers throughout this run looking good. Beecham with a ton of style through this. The car's looking set up, looking sorted, and Simon, while he's chasing in this, initiates a little bit later than maybe he should have and has to play catch up, missing a lot of that first outside zone and then battling back to the second outside zone where Beecham in the lead, pretty stable throughout, able to fill those zones, got that car set up quite nicely, a little hoppy as we come through over top of the old drag strip, and then Simon through the third outside zone, once again doing a great job. So Simon, that third outside zone looks phenomenal on both lead and chase, and Beecham just smooth, very, very smooth. He's not chopping at the car anymore. I mean, both drivers really trying to get wrangled their respective vehicles, and it's showing the progression they're making with that.
Like I said, Trent Beecham earning his chops in what was formerly Pro 2, now Pro Spec. He did get third place at Utah last year, so he wants to get back on the box. Simon Olsen gets the victory, taking out Trenton Beecham, so congratulations to him. But it's all Simon Olsen there in the Kenda Tires Supra, again, taking that knowledge and advancing on. Got second in Atlanta last year. So, again, talking about top 4 finishes, got 5 podiums overall. And taking a look, it looks like we are seeing Brandon Sorensen and O'Sullivan. This should be good. I think this should be a really good battle. O'Sullivan, something to prove. Brandon flying the Sorensen Motorsports can't flag. We saw Cameron and Amanda yesterday. Brandon stepping up. Again, the younger brother, the older brother, you know, to obviously respectively his siblings, and Connor O'Sullivan making the jump from Pro Spec to Pro. United States Army picking up that sponsorship there. Excited for him and see what he can do. Who will be leading? Looks like Sorensen will be leading over O'Sullivan.
Yeah, this is a big time for O'Sullivan right now. Is trying to make that point. I mean, as you said, big sponsorship. We got some competing military factions going at it right now.
Army versus Air Force, BMW versus BMW.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, this is cool. Hoorah! Where we got?
There's some people in bases right now. Making. There's some
with bases in the stands.
Yeah,
you got some Army, you got some Air Force. But thank you for all those that protect our country, who have served or are serving. Thank you for your service. Here we go, Brandon Sorensen serving up some angle here in that second outside zone, that Air Force BMW. O'Sullivan tucks on into that second outside zone. Look at O'Sullivan almost touching tires there. Good transition allowed him, but did he allow him too much, give him too much space? No, he jumps right back to the side. So good battle here. Again, I like that. Air Force versus Army, Sorensen versus Sullivan.
Yeah.
O'Sullivan.
There's some tongue twisters going on for you and I on this one. O'Sullivan's driving very much reminds me of Brandon Sorensen's, and both of them, I mean, they've got a little bit of growing up to do when it comes to their respective driving. One spot that was a little strange there was that transition from Sorensen out in the lead going into 2, but O'Sullivan adapts, does a great job. Look at how stable O'Sullivan is throughout this whole run, and that transition is just nasty. Coming through the third outside zone, O'Sullivan again gaining that proximity, pulling a little bit of angle out, but not a ton, just to keep the proximity in there and then getting the car to go back in the lead. So Brandon, very dynamic, very quick throughout the whole thing, but O'Sullivan, does not let him get away from him at any point. Swapping this back around, I'm really interested to see what Brandon Sorensen does in the chase, knowing O'Sullivan had a solid chase run previously.
And here we go. Let's alternate the order here. O'Sullivan now has the clean air. Wow, almost gets it out to the wall. That allows Sorensen to tuck in nicely. We got a great under the hood segment. If you did not see it, check it out about the Sorensen Motorsports camp in Vegas. But right now he is showing up and gambling and pulling that one-arm bandit. Talk about the handbrake into that last outside zone. And brings it across. A good battle here between these two young guns. Yo, gotta love that. That looked like just a fun, gambler style driving. It looks like they were just like, let's just have some fun, man. That looked great.
That was great. This is drifting at its finest. This is two very, young athletes, really, really coming up in their career, really battling it out, showing, really trying to show each other up the whole time. Look at that. Brandon able to mirror exactly what Connor does when Connor was in the lead, getting out to the wall. And now they start to settle into the outside zone 2. And Brandon doing an amazing job of mirroring as well, exactly what we saw from Connor. They have incredibly similar styles. They're very, very aggressive in both their lead and their chase. That is as close as a battle gets between these two drivers. This is so cool to see. And I was looking forward to this ever since the matchup got made, because these drivers are absolutely on it. They both love this track. They both do great work at this track. And now that both vehicles are at top form, this is what you get.
This to me feels like it is like Gen 3 of Formula Drift.
Yeah.
Like we had, the veterans like Gucci and Chris Forsberg, or, the OGs from 04 through, let's call it 2010. And then there was a new wave of drivers coming in, like your Matt Fields, and, even Odie's kind of an OG as well. He's kind of on that cusp. But this is like the third generation. Also, the vehicles, too. BMWs weren't wildly popular, but now the part accessibility, the power, all that, they are modular, right?
Yeah.
So taking a look at the overhead here, what stands out to you? I mean,
not much.
Really,
That's
really fun one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, what stands out is how little stands out. This is such a close battle between them. I mean, everything down to the transition is so tight, and this is... Man, if there was an argument for a one more time, to me, this is it. I really try not to call these battles, but I would love for this to be a one more time, just so I can see them go at it again. I want to see them door each other more. I think if we do go one more time, they're going to drive that much more aggressive, and they're going to throw caution to the wind at that point.
Or do they? And again, I would always reference Tanner Faust of peaking at the right time. And look at here, O'Sullivan gets one vote, gets it one more time, and O'Sullivan gets the win over Brandon Sorensen. So, Reese, I'm going to go to you. You did side with Brandon Sorensen, and who else sided with Sorensen as well? Vernon. So, again, Brian went with one more time, but what was the deciding factor for you that O'Sully just put it over the top?
So the deciding factors were the tire drop going into outside zone 1 by Brandon in the lead.
Okay.
When they go into outside zone 2, they both are going in kind of shallow going into it. All right, but so that's an equal error as they're going through. Proximity is really good. I believe Sully does a better job in interclip 1. And then when we go into the outside zone 3, I think O'Sully does a better job as there too. And so O'Sully gets the win there. I think Brian saw there was just an even enough there to make him go out and clean it again, but me and Vernon saw it different.
Okay, so O'Sully. And all right, so as we are seeing.
Yeah, just a solid run from both of them, and I mean, yeah, it was just really good to see. I mean, I would love to. I was going for one more time just because I wanted to see them battle more. That's, I mean, selfishly and maybe for the fans, because I think they would have stepped it up a little bit more, and some more fans out cheering.
Hey, there we are. Is that Air Force? United States Air Force.
Hey.
Unfortunately, their driver didn't go on, but they're still having a good time. So thank you for your service. Thank you, United States Air Force. We have our United States Air Force opening ceremonies later on. Got him. I see you, boys. And we have the one more time battle of Odie Bakshis and Andy Haley. After that, we got one more battle left, and that's the other Shanahan, Connor Shanahan versus TLO Tommy LeMaire. Odie Bakshis out front, Andy Haley. Straight line approach there by Odie Bakshis. And Andy Haley tucks in that Evo Autoworks BMW. You can see he's nosing in, rolling in that second big, long outside zone. And look at Andy Haley past that inside clip. Doesn't have a big degree of angle. You can see that kind of like, again, in the transitions, you see him kind of really kind of crawling his way in, not just getting right to the side.
Yeah.
So I think he's dialing it back a little bit, a 7.5, an 8 out of 10. So let's take a look at it here from the overhead.
Yeah, to me, Odie already corrected a few of the smaller mistakes that he made in the lead last time. That first outside zone, though, is absolutely monumental. And going into the second outside zone, I didn't see the e-brake pull that was there before that kind of disrupted the car. So Odie cleaning things up on the lead run, amazing on the inside clip there. But as you said, Andy Haley just not able to really keep up with the speed of Odie's car, which is great for Odie in the lead here, but it did kind of bite him a little bit in the chase. It's one of those Andy's car not as fast. So what is Odie going to do now that it goes back to the chase? Can he hold that car back and still drive to the door of Andy without, missing these zones?
All right, so I know that Odie Bakshi's got the horsepower on deck. I think he just needs to show a little bit of dominance here if he really wants to solidify the deal, mimic that angle, and keep that car in control. And that's what we know Odie to have, is that horsepower on deck. One of the best chasers in the biz, and look at that, just allowing him to just cross across that carbon Kevlar nose. And interestingly enough, when Andy Haley's got the clean air, it seems like a different driver, a different vehicle, the attitude of the car. I think that would really serve Andy Haley well if he was a little more aggressive in the chase position. You see a thumbs up, just saying, hey, good run, either way, you know, up, down, left, right, but let's take a look at it here again.
Yeah, Andy's got a solid lead run again. I mean, very similar to what Odie's able to do, although it does take Andy a little bit longer to get into the second outside zone, and that might be the difference. Odie taking notes from the previous one and really just staying with Andy through the whole thing. Actually taps that front bumper on transition and gets back into it, and then follows the line quite well through the second half, our third outside zone. So both drivers making a few things. It is reminiscent of our previous run with them, but they are making those corrections. And to me, that spot there for Andy in the lead might be the difference maker for him. Although Odie, same thing again, the car is really fast, but he is struggling to kind of hold it back with Andy Haley, who's not nearly as fast. And that's the difficult part about having a really, really quick car, is being able to chase a car that's not as fast. That's what it comes down to, and these are the choices that each driver's got to make when it comes to the setup, and you still need to know the person you're going against and how you need to make sure the car is equipped to do that.
Take a look, sweethearts. You're up there on the big screen as our two gentlemen are on the big screens. Now take a look at it here.
Yeah,
Walk us
so
through it.
lead runs. I mean, both drivers do a good job through the first outside zone. Proximity's pretty close there, but Odie really gets into the second outside zone early and then gains that proximity and holds that proximity through the whole part of the second outside zone. Inside clip, Odie a little bit closer in. Andy, or does a bit better of a job through that, whereas Andy not quite on point there. Third outside zone, pretty comparable. But to me, I think the judges have enough to make a call on this one. I love that both drivers took notes from the previous run, knowing it was a one more time, knowing they had to change things up, had to adapt and do things a little bit differently coming into this second battle.
Here we are, slide him left for Odie Bakshi, so right for Andy Haley. And I think Odie took the knowledge that he had previously. Andy, like I said, I think he's got that horsepower. It seems like two different drivers out front and in the chase. I know he's got it right there. One more battle left. And Lorette, what is the vibes down there? Again, we had a slow trickle, and now we're really gaining momentum. But Daniel Stuckey, obviously you're with him right now.
Yeah, of course. The vibes are high down here, and Daniel is moving forward. Now, let's talk about this track and the heat and that grip. What are you guys experiencing?
Not as much kind of greasiness or anything as we would have expected. I don't know. I can't remember versus last year, maybe the year before. It kind of seems like it was resurfaced or scraped or something. It's honestly really nice. The rubber's laid down really well. It's fast. The fronts are holding good. Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to see you in top 16. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
There it is, throwing the horns, throwing thumbs up, throwing the smile out there. Umbrellas are out, but again, be mindful. We got a packed house here at E-Town. Say hello. You're around the globe. We are live around the world, and at Top 16, we will be on Racer Network, which is also where they're hosting the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. 100 plus of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. So yeah, on Racer Network. So one more battle left. It's Ireland versus Canada. Connor Shanahan would like to take out TLO, obviously defending the Shanahan's name. And there they are. There's Tommy and Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Red, white, and blue. Barbed wire, baby. Look at that. That's old barbed wire Bob.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Legend.
I never thought I'd see him out here.
I know.
Old Bob Wire. We'll call him Bob Wire. Here we go. Connor Shanahan will lead. Tommy the Bear and TLO giving chase. Connor Shanahan in that 86. TLO in the Corvette chasing him down. Shanahan brings it in. TLO comes up a bit short of that XPN Corvette. Red Bull 86 into that second outside zone. Now TLO finds that sweet spot. You can see him trying to nose in, trying to grind the door like a die grinder. Now into that last outside zone transitions. TLO, oh boy, goes in hard, goes into the dirt. TLO stays in it, pins it to the door. Tommy gets loosey-goosey. The goosh is loose and got a little bit of a nose job there, a correction by TLO. So not exactly what you wanted there in our final battle, but Tommy, let's take a look.
Yeah, so everything looks pretty normal as we start through the first outside zone.
TLO was shallow.
Shallow, yes. But second outside zone, Tommy really trying to charge in there. You can see it. And Connor does a good job making small corrections, but not very noticeable. You do see the left foot brake there. And as we transition out,
bang, bang.
I think Connor shut it down.
Good angle.
I'm seeing the smoke really dissipate as he goes into the third outside zone. I'm trying to make eye contact with Max over there to see if I can glean anything from him. But just the way that he came into the third outside zone, I didn't see the car light off again. Just kind of floated there, and Tommy really pushing the pace through here. Would have liked to see a bit more angle, but Tommy gaining that proximity. As we transition out, you can decel at this point. Hard to tell with that angle.
I wasn't telling with that angle.
Yeah, hard to tell with that angle, but Connor, it almost looked like the car shut down, or he was a little bit late to get on throttle at least. You know, you can decel, but the judges do want to see you on throttle, you know, even before they get into the third outside zone. So it looks like we are getting at least 1 5-minute call right now for Connor Shanahan. So right there, just nothing. It just, he does not light off before he gets into the third outside zone.
So your quick interpretation. So let's take a look at the overall track map. What was previously decel zones are momentum zones, and what that's saying is basically, you know, momentum might be slowed, and what the judges are requesting are there's a natural slowing of momentum when you transition. So for instance, where those red bars are, that really denotes, again, momentum either slowing down or disrupting.
Right, and you're supposed to decel after transition, which we see. So transition, you can decel, but the smoke completely disappears before he gets into that third outside zone. Now, I don't know if that's Connor going, I'm not set up correctly and I have to wait. If that's the case, that's still not the correct spot to be decelling. So
that's equipment failing you.
Yeah, I mean,
essentially.
It's either there was an equipment failure and that's why he didn't light off, or he was not decelled enough and was continuing to decel at that point. So either way, in my mind, there was a situation that was not correct for Connor Shanahan at that point in the track.
Taking a look at some of the stats, Connor Shanahan, we've seen some success from him over the seas, and he got 7th at Long Beach. That's his highest finish so far. 11th most recently at Orlando. We saw him, you know, obviously we've seen 4 podiums. He got, did he get the win last year at Orlando? Is that what it was? Orlando, maybe his highest finish so far? Saying,
yeah, I believe so. Yes, you're correct.
Last year, Orlando. So 2 wins, 4 podiums overall, 13 events for Shanahan. TLO, obviously coming from Pro Spec, winning that championship over there. 6 events so far no, that's not right. But third at, no, that's not
I think that's out of the seating bracket is what you're looking
that's
at.
That's what we're looking at there.
That's all good.
Say again? All right, so Shanahan is at fault, and unfortunately he's not very happy. So let's throw it down to Lorette. A lot of traffic going on here. Lorette, what's up?
Well, thanks for taking us through all the traffic and explaining everything. O'Sully is down here with that smile that we've missed, his rookie season, his first top 16 this year. And that battle was actually really stressful for you.
Yeah, it was stressful for me. I mean, U.S. Air Force versus U.S. Army, it was big. I know I needed to get the win. Brandon's an amazing driver. I knew I had to put it on him. And chasing first, I knew I just couldn't leave any room. I saw he dropped a tire on outer zone 1, so I knew where I needed to clean it up, and we ended up getting the win. So this is our first top 16, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, amazing. What do you think? So your momentum, God, I think my words are, it's hot out here, guys. So
it's very hot.
It's very hot. But that momentum is starting to click into place for you. Is there something you can attribute that to?
Yeah, it is. It is starting to click. I've taken myself out a lot this year by running into the lead driver, and I just want it so bad. And I think it's really getting to me, so I need to chill out and know where I need to take a step back and control my my aggressiveness. Yeah. So I think we're starting to get there, and we're just going to keep working on it. But you know, we podiumed so much last year, and I've been off the box, so I just want to do good. I just really want to do good and hopefully get on that box tonight. And this is my first top 16, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited for you. Best of luck moving forward, guys.
Good, happy, jovial O'Sully said, I just got to get better. First top 16, baby steps, but he wants to take those man steps. Connor O'Sully Sullivan, how we doing, brother? You need a back tattoo. You know, we got that big old chest zapper. We need to commit to the back there, brother. As taking a look, the judges said Shanahan, and one said shared fault. So Shanahan deemed at fault with an incomplete. So Lemaire, Shanahan will be given an incomplete for run 1. And again, impeding on that right there. So Shanahan at fault. He will have to use a competition timeout with hands on deck. And Tommy Lemaire would be given a complimentary assessment of his vehicle. So a lot of fun at the Mustangs and Travis Reeder in Atlanta. Send It, our series, taking a look at Formula Drift adjacent. Tattoos, drifting, cars, golf, who knows? Well, you never know what's going to end up on Send It. But in Atlanta, we had some fun with some Ford Mustangs.
It's a do-rag, not a don't-rag. You know what I'm saying? What's up, fool? That's gonna not make the edit. That escalated really quick. Mustang, unleash! Whoa. Let's send it! This is Mustang Unleashed. What is that? Well, you get to get a shotgun ride in one of the iconic Ford Mustangs. Look at Vaughn twisting the screws on James Dean, the 4-time champion. They know the car setup. Ford Mustangs here at Road Atlanta. What is Mustang Unleashed? Well, find out at MustangUnleashed.com, where you can get a shotgun ride. Fun thing is, I'm not driving. Still riding shotgun. Hey, buddy! Oh, hey!
You ready to go for a rip or what?
I heard it's your first time driving a stick.
Yeah, never driven a manual.
Yeah. All right, send it. Yeah! Mustang Unleashed! Look out for falling prices. Factory, right?
Oh, yeah,
Factory drift brake.
How's that?
Dude, how good is like FD, Grid Life? You got to rip out there.
Dude, all of it. I'm double duty, dude.
Just like that. Mustang Unleashed. Come out to FD, get a shotgun ride. Whoa. There you go. See? Children of all ages, yourself included, myself included. Send it.
Welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you?
I'd like a 10-piece crispy chicken nuggets, please, and a Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Pull ahead to the pickup window and try not to leave a trail this time. Nice drifting, Freddie. Enjoy your Rockstar Energy Refresca.
Thank you.
Action continues here at E-Town. There is Vendor Village. And there is Shanahan outside of the car. Taking a look at that front right corner, that's where some contact was made. And you mentioned looking over at Matt's. Matt's is Connor's spotter. He worked with Simon Olsen before. He's spotting actually for Amanda and for Connor Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's he's a wanted man. He's been spotting for a lot of people.
He's a wanted man. He's actually tiny.
I meant wanted. A lot of people, more or less wanting to work with him. But
Right.
yeah, great spotter.
Well, as you can see, the hands are on deck, and Lorette is right there. Lorette is with Connor. Lorette.
So Connor said that his car shut down. He's not sure what the problem is, but what's the team working on?
Yeah, the team is just working on the damage what we caused in the run, but we don't know what the problem is. Every lap this weekend has been another problem, and it just feels like one of these years in America, to be honest. Can't catch a break, can't get a feeling for the car, can't get everything figured out, but it's the joys of the game. The actual start of that run was the first time this weekend, like we felt like we were on it, and then, yeah, flicked into the last corner, and same situation as the start of Thursday morning. So, yeah, we'll go out, blow the doors off Tommy, put on a show for the crowd if the car stays going, and pack it in the trailer and on to the next one.
Connor, thanks.
Did
All
you
right.
get it? Did you get any of that?
Yeah, I got most of that.
I'm going to win. We're going to pack it up. We're going to go.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's do it.
I'm learning Irish. It's been a long, lot of training, but I'm getting there.
Well, you can see that front right corner. He does have that comp timeout. We talked about the confidence, but he did say it. You spotted. He said, the smoke delineation, it stopped, and he said it shut down. So not only working on the corner, but also what happened? What is that gremlin that is lurking under the hood? But the skid lid is on, the wheel is going on as well. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, it could be a lot of different things that the car shuts down like that. It's probably very, very scary. I mean, I personally never had that happen, but going in, especially in that zone, the car completely dies out. Tommy's got nowhere to go, makes contact. Thankfully, it's pretty quick to get that repair done. And then, yeah, I mean, it looked like he lit it off at the end. So whatever cut out on the car started back up again pretty quickly. So just a really, really strange situation for Connor. Hopefully they get it sorted. You know, he's saying he wants to get back out there and blow the doors off Tommy. Super interesting. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's he's behind the 8 ball at this point. It's going to be really, really difficult for him to be able to do that, but you never know.
Taking a look overall, grab one of those Rockstar Refrescas.
They're good.
I should have been in one of the commercials. We're going to need to Refresca that commercial as well.
Yeah, I heard your top 10 in points earnings at Taco Bell.
I'm not one to, I mean, you brought it up.
Yeah, I know.
You brought it up. You know what I mean? I'm a someone would call me a fifth mealer. We're going back. I mean,
Fifth mealer.
I had the Batman crisps back in the day when Batman the movie came out. I remember where I was.
Was that the Adam West Batman or?
Not Adam West, was that? I was not in Gotham. I was in I was down the street from the we're double fristing. Oh,
trying one of each.
Well, double refresking here. There's one with Rockstar. There's one without. It's freeze-dried mango on top.
Oh,
they're complimentary. Just walk up and say, "May I please?" They're not free. You got to be kind.
Yes. Yeah.
Be kind and rewind. I don't know if you remember that, but
I did have VHSs.
Yep. There we go. This guy. Oh man, look at that. So if you're here in the building, go grab a complimentary Rockstar Refresca, courtesy of Taco Bell. So yeah, they talk about how, you know, what's your T-Bell order?
Usually one of the big boxes. Just depends on which one they've kind of got in the rotation.
Okay. They canceled the double-decker tacos for a minute. My wife ordered every order, or like family's order, and then she went to her order, and she's like, okay, 2 double-decker tacos. She said, ma'am, we don't have the double-decker tacos. She said, cancel the order and kept driving through.
Wow. Wow.
But I'm a Burrito Supreme, Taco Supreme, beef, Crunchy Taco Supreme, Cinnamon Twist, and then I'll throw in like a Mexi Melt.
I remember when they took away nacho fries, and my wife had a small meltdown. I'm just completely serious.
And we got head drums here.
Yeah.
On old, he's built for this. He's got Snap-on tools, so he knows what's cooking. Looks like a lot of the fans are streaming their way out. We have potentially one half of the battle left between what Connor said. I'm gonna blow the doors off Tommy. We're gonna pack this thing up. We're ready to go on to the next one.
Crazy.
So we'll see. But the figure 8 has shown up here. The crazy 8, the great 8. But first up, we got the 32 and then the 16. Can't read your sign, buddy. It's like a mix
He's
between.
that excited.
Yeah. What's it say? I is the. I don't know. You just got a little rendering there. I like it.
FD is the
regardless.
best.
FD is the best. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh, he's dabbing on
dabbing.
him. Dabbing. Oh, left to right, side to side. Mr. Worldwide. Sun's out, guns out. This guy gets it. Oh, double, triple dabbing. Oh, he's flossing now. Knee shake. Guy looks like a mix between Dawson from Circle of Drift and Chelsea Denofa. that gentleman right there. Dawson Denofa. And, E-Town, has, again, arguably maybe the birthplace of drifting here in the States, but, Tony Angelo, Chris Forsberg, Ryan Turk, Matt Petty, Tim Johnsrud, Wagner, so many, there's an event here, the Pro Down Bro Down on Sunday that goes down. Sneaky Pete's the bar over here. Barker. Just there's so much history that went down here at E-Town. The road course is going to get thrashed on Sunday. This event, we had Richard Bible, his event when he passed away. We had an event here. I've gotten tattooed a couple times here. I mean, what's that? The Bible burner. That East Coast Bash 2. There's, so many events have happened here over the years. A lot of history here. So Reese is just shaking his head like, yep, a lot of things happen here. Some we can't mention. So what we can mention is that smile on Freddie's face, Lorette.
Yeah, absolutely. And Freddie is moving forward. He's going to see battle against Dylan Hughes, and I just wanted to check in and get your thoughts on that.
It'll be tough, not going to lie. It's going to be very tough. Dylan was struggling in practice. He had some throttle body issues. I was actually chasing him twice, and both times he shut down. And being the nice guy he is, he rushed over to apologize. And I was like, you know what? This is racing. I mean, we're not out there to hold hands, and we're not going to do that in top 16 either. He was on a tier in top 32. So it is going to be tough. But we have our lead runs sorted. We're still working on our chases a little bit, but the car is flying. The Kendas are grippy out here, and I think we have what it takes to really bring the fight to Dylan here.
Incredible. And the weather is thankfully great. I know it's very hot. It seemed like there was a lot of cars that were throwing belts. How is your car set up today, and is it working well on this track?
Well, no belts thrown yet. The car's been working flawlessly the last couple of rounds, and we have enough events under the belt of this car now to feel like we really know the mileage of all the components and we know how to stay on top of it. But then again, things can happen like that. So we gotta try and not jinx yourself out here and deal with it as best as you can. We've all had our share of mishaps out on track, and we're hoping we can keep being reliable and solid all night long tonight.
No announcer's curse here. Best of luck moving forward. Jared?
Hey, don't put that kind of level of stress on us, Lorette. Look, we're just doing our job up here. It's unfortunate that, that we have that kind of power. We didn't choose this power. The power chose us. Speaking of power, Tommy Lemaire initiates, but what? He was like hopping his way out of there. That was, again, Tommy Lemaire now leading Connor Shanahan. He was talking aggressively, and now he gets aggressive here to the side of that second outside zone. Tommy Lemaire, Pro Spec champion from last year. He rips in that last outside zone. Connor Shanahan, once again, in that third outside zone, gets checked up. But let's take a look. Was it me? Was I crazy? It looked like Tommy Lemaire was a little slow out of the gate.
It looked interesting, and it really, even before that, Connor Shanahan at the line was puffing smoke out of the exhaust. So there is definitely something happening, but they just decided to send it. So yeah, Tommy, not too bad on the initiation, but just took a long time to light the tires off halfway through. Some of the judges are definitely looking at, but really Tommy just needing to kind of get around the lap and get the run in the books, and Connor doing everything he can here through this transition. Look how snappy that was, and then there it is. Car just shuts down again. So something strange going on. Something as the car rotates and moves is cutting out, and I mean they'll definitely be really, really digging into it, figure out what's going on with that, because not have that happen coming up the next round.
So very interesting here. Shanahan, like you said, a little puff, the car shut down, all these things. So you know what, Connor Shanahan, absolutely talented driver, just man and machine not working in synchronicity here for our top 32. But Stoke, Tommy Lemaire, TLO in that Corvette, our Pro Spec champion last year, a rookie. It'll be Osoli versus TLO in 16. So two rookies of the year. The other Shanahan brother, unfortunately, Jack Shanahan out early. So those guys fighting for the rookie of the year. Jacob, a decent 32. Got a little weird out of the gate, but then we started to rip through it. What are your thoughts?
Some solid battles coming up here. We already talked about Osbo and Hughes, but Matfield, Kangushi, Forsberg, and LZ. Odie Bakshi, Simon Olsen, again. Can they even the score? No. Every battle, top 16, absolutely solid.
Rome Sharpens here, James Dean. I think that's going to be a good one. If RCP is on, he can take down the defending champion. A lot to unfold, a lot to unpack. Please rejoin us here for the continuation of round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Our live stream kicks back off at 6:45. Just shy of 2 hours. Local time is just before 5 p.m. So again, just about 2 hours. We'll see you back here 6:45 p.m. for our United States Air Force opening ceremonies, the beginning of our top 16. Won't stop until we find out who wins here at the Gauntlet, round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We'll be back. Send it.
Gonna get back when I feel like I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. I don't play right. I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like you know I don't play. Put up a good fight. Just give me good fight. Damn right. You know I play right. I don't play right.